Chapter 1180. Didn't want to go. Seduction, seduction. Even someone like Lin Yi, with his resistance, was losing ground in front of Lingshan. That little vixen song. If this went on, something would happen sooner or later. Lin Yi took a deep breath. He couldn't deny that Lingshan had the body, the face, and the uniform, but Lin Yi was struggling. I can't do it now, I'll help you when I'm in Earth class, Lin Yi said, cutting Lingshan off. Ah! Lingshan paused. She'd thought that this was the limit of what Lin Yi could do for her, and that he wouldn't be able to do it again in the future. After all, external methods like this had their own limits, and other people's qi was different from their own. It was fine if it was a small amount, but too much would cause problems. Of course, Lingshan didn't know that Lin Yi's qi was an all-purpose qi, and after entering her body, it became the same as her own qi. This was Lin Yi's ultimate cheat, after all. How could normal people compare to a main character with a halo? It can still rise. Lingshan asked, a little surprised it was already good enough that she was golden class late phase peak, so how strong would she get if Lin Yi helped her? Could it be that he could level up and become a mystic class master? Yes, but you probably won't break through to Earth class. You'll probably only be mystic late phase peak. I haven't figured out the general pattern yet, but you'll always be a little lower than me. Lin Yi said, of course, don't tell anyone about this. I want people to line up at my house and ask me to help them improve their strength. I'm not an idiot, of course I won't tell anyone, Lingshan said. How could she let other people know about this? But then she asked, can I really become a peak late phase mystic class? Lingshan didn't dare imagine it mystic late phase peak. That was the peak of all the noble houses in the common world. She had that kind of strength. And Lin Yi said that she was going to break through the Earth rank. Lingshan was dumbfounded. Naturally, she knew that Lin Yi was strong, but she didn't know that Lin Yi was this strong. Everyone else's target was half a layer, but Lin Yi was an Earth class. Could it be that Lin Yi was already a mystic late phase peak master? With that thought, Lingshan felt a surge of excitement in her heart. The man she had her eyes on wasn't wrong. Let's talk about it after I break through to Earth class. I don't know when I'll be able to do that. Lin Yi thought, I'm not even mystic late phase peak, and you're already thinking about it. Aren't you being too greedy? I've worked so hard to level up, and now that I've leveled up, you've leveled up. It's so unfair. But in fact, if someone were to hear Lin Yi's thoughts, they would probably vomit blood. You have a cultivation space, a cheat, and the ability to mass-produce experts. You're practically invincible. Do you still think it's hard? Yes, yes. Lingshan said quickly. Then little dummy girl, I'll wait for you to break through and wash yourself clean. I'll be waiting for you anytime. You called just to talk about this? Lin Yi was speechless. No, actually, there's one more thing. Don't you know about Liu Boijia? Chen Yutian found me and asked me to go with him to pretend to be a couple and carry out a mission. I'd like to invite you to come with us. With your skills, it'll reduce the danger. Lingshan got to the point. Rob tombs with you guys? Lin Yi blinked. Not with us, but to catch the tomb robbers. We'll also record how to activate the tomb's mechanisms to help our archaeology. Lingshan explained. Not interested. Lin Yi said faintly. I'm staying here to protect Meng Yaro and Yushu. Xiao family's been working with some hidden house pie lately, and they've sent a couple of practitioners to protect Xiao family. I think they'll come looking for trouble sooner or later. Go Huli even brought a lion here to cause trouble. Brought a lion? Lingshan paused. No way. Where's the lion? My golden class dog chased it up a tree, and it's still up there. Lin Yi smiled. I leveled up that dog. Lingshan was speechless. Lin Yi really had nothing better to do, leveling up a golden class dog. But this also showed how strong Lin Yi was. Creating practitioners was no problem at all. Don't you have some medical knowledge? According to our research, this tomb might very well be the tomb of the folk medicine Saint Zhongliju. Aren't you interested? Lingshan started tempting Lin Yi, taking out the things Lin Yi was most interested in. There might be some ancient books in there. Of course, I can't give you the originals, but I can give you the copies. Lingshan was a principals. She couldn't just use relics to please Lin Yi. He could look, but he definitely couldn't take them away. But Lin Yi wouldn't be able to use the originals even if he wanted them. Haha, not too interested. Lin Yi still wasn't interested. His old man had thousands of ancient books, and he couldn't even finish them all. Why would he look at other people's? Plus, he really didn't have the time. Going into the tomb would take him at least 10 days to half a month. Lingshan didn't expect that even this wouldn't attract Lin Yi's attention. She was a little disappointed. Think about it a little more, just think of it as protecting Miss Dumbo. It's dangerous in there, aren't you afraid that Miss Dumbo will die? Then don't go. Lin Yi said. Anything else? No. Nothing else. Lingshan was a little disappointed, but there was nothing she could do. She couldn't force Lin Yi to go if he didn't want to. Think about it a little more, it's not that urgent. Maybe the Xiao family's problem will be solved by then. We'll talk about it later. With that, Lin Yi hung up. After hanging up, Lin Yi walked out of the room and into the living room. Lin Yi had sensed it when Go Huli came with the lion. There were curtains in Lin Yi's bathroom, but one could still see the outside of the villa through the gaps. But Lin Yi relaxed after seeing Yushu and General Weiwu come out. General Weiwu was more than enough to deal with a lion. Chapter 1181. She spilled the beans. I saw it. Lin Yi smiled. How's the lion now? I don't know, let's go take a look together, see if it's dead or surrendered. Yushu was eager to know the result after hearing Lin Yi's words. Meng Yaro wasn't interested at first, but after hearing Yushu and Lin Yi's words, she was curious as well. She stood up and followed them out of the villa. But, when they walked out, they saw a spectacular scene. General Weiwu was leaning against the shade of a tree, and the lion was respectfully squatting beside General Weiwu. It was fanning General Weiwu with a broken piece of paper in its front paw. What? General Weiwu has a follower. Yushu's eyes widened, shocked. Haha. Lin Yi wasn't surprised at this result. It was just a lion, after all. It was a piece of cake for General Weiwu to take care of it. Shield bro, now that you have 2 followers, you can go out without worry when we're at home. Yushu said happily. Now we have another guard. Meng Yaro couldn't help but smile as well. A lion fanning a dog was something that could only be seen in cartoons, but it was happening right in front of her eyes. Meng Yaro couldn't believe it. But then again, ever since Lin Yi moved into the villa, too many unbelievable things had happened in the house. This lion is a little weak, and it might not have surrendered wholeheartedly. It's just afraid of General Weiwu's aura, Lin Yi said faintly as he looked at the lion not far away. Oh! Yushu paused. This lion was faking its submission? Did that mean it wasn't very loyal? Yushu wasn't an idiot, and this was the case in real life. Some people were forced to submit to pressure and power, but in reality, they were waiting for the right opportunity to retaliate. They wouldn't go easy on their enemies, however. Yushu looked at the lion's eyes after hearing Lin Yi's words. Lin Yi's words weren't sincere at all. Yushu felt that Lin Yi's words made sense. She sighed. Then what should we do? Will it be able to faithfully look after our yard? Hihi, as long as it isn't as strong as General Weiwu, it will still guard this place seriously. Lin Yi understood that sometimes, it didn't matter if one was sincere or submissive, as long as one's strength was there, the result would be the same. Oh, then let's keep it for now. Yushu nodded in satisfaction at Lin Yi's words. Hey, lion, you need to protect the yard, okay? Don't let strangers in, or I'll get General Weiwu to deal with you. Understand? Awoo. The lion seemed to be quite intelligent, and seemed to understand Yushu's words. Yufeng was in a very good mood after breaking through to Mystic Mid-Phase. After thinking about it, he decided to give Lingshan a call and change his image today. Otherwise, he'd be too weak to let Lingshan see him beaten up like that. Lingshan called Lin Yi and got rejected by Lin Yi. She wasn't in a good mood, and came out of the room with a dark expression on her face. How is it? Lingshan, did Lin Yi agree? Yu Tian asked worriedly, as if he was even more worried than Lingshan. No. Lingshan shook her head. I asked him to think about it, but he didn't reply. Man, if Lin Yi joined this mission, we'd have a higher chance. Yu Tian sighed as well. This mission is very dangerous. I don't want anything to go wrong. Me too, of course, Lingshan said. It looks like I'll have to keep begging him. Lingshan's phone rang again as they were talking, delighting her. She thought that it was Lin Yi calling back, and that he'd changed his mind. But when Lingshan took out her phone, it was an unknown number. Hello, I'm Song Lingshan. Lingshan picked up the phone and said her name in a formal manner. Lingshan, it's Yufeng. Yufeng said excitedly. He thought that Lingshan's voice was really nice, like the sound of nature. Even a simple sentence like that was so charming. Yufeng, why are you looking for me? Lingshan frowned, her face darkening. She didn't expect this Yufeng to call her so soon. This guy was really shameless, losing face in front of her today, and he didn't feel embarrassed at all. He still had the face to call her. Haha, it's like this. I'm at the beach today, right? The scenery and environment here are quite nice, and I heard that you're on leave tomorrow, so I wanted to invite you to the beach and relax. Yufeng said with a smile. Lingshan, you're under a lot of pressure from work. You can relax at the beach and enjoy nature. Let's have a picnic, what do you think? Lingshan was pissed off. Did this Yufeng do a thorough investigation? He even knew that she was on leave tomorrow. How's your injury? Weren't you going to the hospital today? What, you're leaving already? Lingshan said faintly. Her meaning was clear. You were beaten up like that, why didn't you just stay in the hospital for treatment? What were you doing out here? Lingshan, don't misunderstand. I didn't fight anyone today, I got beaten up on purpose. Yufeng had already thought of what to say. In order to not lose face, he found a perfect excuse. Oh, you got people to beat you up on purpose? Lingshan paused. Was there an idiot like that in this world? Looking for a beating? Was he itching for a beating? Yes. Yufeng said seriously, Lingshan, this is actually a method I came up with myself to train and level up. I call this method of leveling up cadence. What is the cadence? It's suppressing and showing off. Every time I reach a bottleneck, I'll use this cadence to level up. First, I'll suppress myself, and this means that I won't fight back, I'll just endure it. When I can't take it anymore, I'll explode and level up. Then you broke through? Lingshan asked faintly. Yeah, I broke through. Yufeng said proudly. I'm a mystic mid-phase now. Chapter 1182. I'll talk to him. Right. I was mystic mid-phase. I'm at mystic mid-phase peak now. Yufeng jumped in fright, remembering that he'd told Lingshan that he was one level stronger than her. He'd almost let it slip. Is that so? Congratulations then. What did Lingshan do for a living? She knew that Yufeng was lying the moment she heard it. It seemed like this guy was lying. He probably didn't have the strength of mystic mid-phase before and was just about to break through, so he bragged to his grandpa that he was mystic mid-phase. Now that he had just broken through, he almost exposed himself. Haha, I'm very experienced in leveling up. Lingshan, I heard that you're a rare genius, too. You're still a little weaker than me, but you're already very strong, Yufeng said proudly. But if you want to know the profound of leveling up, I can help. I believe that with my guidance, you'll be able to break through quickly as well. Oh. Lingshan replied faintly. Breakthrough? Why didn't she ask him for help? What kind of crappy method was that? She had to get beaten up to break through? Lingshan didn't want that. It was so easy with Lin Yi's help. There was no pressure at all, no pain at all. What? Lingshan, you're not interested in leveling up? Yufeng paused. He thought that Lingshan would be really excited after what he'd said, but Lingshan's attitude was very calm, as if she didn't hear anything at all. That shouldn't be the case, right? Yufeng thought that most people would be excited when they heard about the profound meaning of leveling up. This was very important to a warrior. The path of cultivation was full of hardships, and every step was going against the flow. Every breakthrough required a huge price. No one could get something without putting in the effort. So, leveling up was a huge temptation for a practitioner, but why didn't Lingshan care? Yufeng didn't understand. How could he have known that Lingshan would be able to level up so easily with Lin Yi's help? With such a good leveling tool like Lin Yi, why would he need Yufeng's profound? I have to work overtime tomorrow, so I won't be able to go. You should go yourself. Lingshan said faintly. There's a case, and I have to stay. Yufeng didn't know what to make of it. Lingshan's one sentence had blocked all of his excuses. No matter what Yufeng said, it was useless. Lingshan had a job, she couldn't just give it up, could she? Is there anything else? Lingshan asked. No. No more. Yufeng said helplessly. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up, Lingshan said and put the phone on the table, letting out a long breath. She didn't know why, but Lingshan felt a sense of disgust when she heard Yufeng's voice. Who's calling? Lingshan, you don't seem too happy. Yutian looked at Lingshan curiously. House Yu's Yufeng, I don't know what's going on, but my grandpa wants me to marry House Yu to House Yu. Lingshan didn't hide anything from Yutian and told him her troubles. What? Yufeng? Yutian froze, looking at Lingshan in disbelief. You're saying that your old song wants to marry House Yu? What's going on? How would I know? Lingshan rolled her eyes helplessly. Didn't I always say that the man in the future would be stronger than me? Grandpa remembered it, and I don't know how he got in touch with House Yu, saying that Yufeng was stronger than me, so he made a deal with them privately. I didn't think that Yufeng would come looking for me, but, don't you like Lin Yi? You and Yufeng? Yutian asked, agitated. I don't like Yufeng at all. Lingshan shook her head. But Grandpa won't listen when I tell him, so I can only deal with it for a while. Hopefully, this Yufeng will back off. I see. If that's the case, I'll talk to him when I see him and explain things to him. Hopefully, he'll give up on his own. Yutian, on the other hand, knew about the marriage between noble houses, but it wasn't impossible to cancel the marriage if both parents objected. And so, Yutian thought that since Yufeng and Lingshan hadn't broken up yet, he'd talk to him about it, and maybe he'd let go. They were both men, after all. If he could let go, what about Yufeng? Yutian bro, it's best if you don't go. I don't have a good impression of this Yufeng, but I don't think he's a good person to deal with. You should just ignore him. He'll probably give up after hitting a wall a few times. Lingshan knew Yutian's temperament. She was afraid that he wouldn't be a match for Yufeng if they really fought. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing, Yutian said. Then, if he doesn't give up after a while, you'll talk to him again? Lingshan had no choice but to delay. All right. If he still doesn't give up after a while, I'll talk to him. Yutian nodded. Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine, with House Liu and Fatty Lai's business backing it up, began to be sold on a large scale in the market without any pressure, and sales were rising steadily. Especially after the effects of the medicine were verified by the consumers, the sales volume doubled. Fatty Lai was overjoyed by the huge supply, but he had no choice but to take a loan and invest in the production line as soon as possible. From the looks of it, it wouldn't be long before the stock ran out, and the market would be out of stock. Although this would create a situation where the demand exceeded the supply, the consumers would also have negative feelings towards Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine. Being out of stock was always uncomfortable, and so, in order to prevent this from happening, Fatty Lai gathered people and started working overtime to increase production. From the looks of it, the new product hadn't even been put into production yet, and they had to make way for the injury medicine. Even if they increased production, they wouldn't have the extra production lines to produce the new painkillers. It was already good enough that they could supply the entire country with the injury medicine. This was something that Fatty Lai didn't foresee. He didn't think that the injury medicine would be so popular and affect the entire country. He originally only wanted to push it into the market in the province and nearby provinces, but he underestimated the network effect. As of now, everyone knew about Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine. Chapter 1183. House Kang's Shokdonghai, House Kang's mansion. Looking at Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine being released into the market in large quantities, the Kangs were dumbfounded. Didn't I tell you to control the raw materials? What's going on? Where did Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company get so many raw materials? Dr. Kang looked at the news and smashed the teacup in his hand onto the floor. He yelled at Kang Gui Feng, tell me, what's going on? Aren't you in charge of the raw materials? Dad, I did buy all the raw materials. I bought all the bad ones too. There shouldn't be any stock left in the market, Kang Guifeng said with a bitter face. Unless they started buying raw materials in large quantities a few years ago, the raw materials in the market would be monopolized by us. A few years ago? How is that possible? Did they prepare for a few years before releasing the product into the market? Do you think that's possible? Dr. Kang said angrily. I don't think it's possible either. But, other than that, there's no other explanation, Kang Guifeng said helplessly. I've already asked all the raw material suppliers, and they don't have any stock left. I even offered to buy them at a high price, but they couldn't take it out. So, this proves that they don't have any stock left, out of stock. Is it a ghost? This miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine is constantly being sent into the market. More than what we have, that means you have everything you need. We can't even keep the cost down at this price. Miracle Dr. Kang hemped coldly. Maybe they're making a loss to attack us. Kang Guifeng said hesitantly, this is a common business tactic, many people use it. They'll wait until our product has no market, and when they take over the entire market, they'll raise the price again. That way, they can recoup their previous losses. Oh, you're saying, they're doing this on purpose? Did you amass so many goods just to attack us? Dr. Kang asked. That's possible. Kang Guifeng had been thinking about it for the past few days. He couldn't understand how Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company could fully distribute the goods in just a few days. Then let's discuss how we should deal with it. Dr. Kang asked with a frown. Grandpa, I have a good idea. Jiaolong had lost face earlier, so he spoke before Kang Mingming could. Oh, what good idea do you have? Tell me. Dr. Kang asked with a smile as he looked at his eldest grandson. Actually, he was more interested in his eldest grandson Kang Jiaolong, even though Kang Mingming was quite capable. It's like this. I think that since Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company is making a loss, then we'll let them make a loss. On the surface, we'll do what we want and not adjust the price or the number of sales. Instead, we'll buy Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine in bulk. Jiaolong said, since our cost isn't enough, we'll buy their products in bulk and stock them up. When Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company can't take it anymore, we'll change the packaging and continue to market at the same price. We'll be able to make Miracle Dr. Guan lose a lot of money. That makes sense. Dr. Kang nodded. He felt that Jiaolong's words made sense, but he still looked at Kang Mingming. He wanted to see if his second grandson had any good ideas. Kang Mingming had some achievements recently, so Dr. Kang asked, what about Jiaoming? What do you think we should do? Grandpa, I don't agree with Big Brother's point of view. Kang Mingming was an idiot, but he'd gotten lucky recently. He'd made so many great achievements that he felt a little smug. That was why he went against his big brother. Oh, why? Dr. Kang asked quickly. That. Kang Mingming frowned. He was just objecting subconsciously. Why would there be a reason? But since his grandpa asked, he couldn't say he didn't know. He could only brace himself and start talking nonsense. Grandpa, think about it. You said it before, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company couldn't have planned to buy these raw materials a few years ago. They already had this amazing medicine, so they should have put it on the market a long time ago. Why would they wait until now? A few years ago, they could even compete with our Dr. Kang's golden creation. Why would they wait? So this guess isn't reliable. Then why do you think so? Dr. Kang nodded. He felt that Kang Mingming's words were reasonable. I think this Guan Shuamin might have used some low-quality ingredients to replace the expensive ones. You should know that Guan Shuamin is an expert in the medical world. It's not impossible. Kang Mingming said, if he used some low-quality ingredients, then the cost would be lower, and he wouldn't have to buy those expensive rare ingredients. You're talking nonsense, right? Didn't you get the prescription from them already? Are you saying that the prescription you got isn't accurate? Jiaolong didn't wait for Dr. Kang to speak and retorted, besides, if we could change the ingredients on the prescription, we would have done it a long time ago. Don't forget that I'm also a medical student. Our Kang family's laboratory has been researching whether it's possible to replace the rare and expensive medicinal materials in the prescription with other medicinal material. You think you can compare to Guan Shuamin? He's an expert, and you just graduated. Brother, it's good that you're confident, but too much confidence is just arrogance and conceit. Kang Mingming said, either way, I'm sticking to my own point of view. I got the prescription from them, that's true, but you can't guarantee that they won't change it when it's put into production. All right, stop arguing. Dr. Kang saw his two grandsons arguing, and he was a little annoyed. What time was this, and they were still arguing because of their own feelings? How could they deal with others if they weren't united? Zhaolong and Kang Mingming shut their mouths at the same time, but they still didn't give in. Zhao words make sense, but the possibility isn't high. After all, this prescription can't be changed just like that. It's a miraculous prescription, how can it be changed so easily? Dr. Kang said, I think we should follow Zhaolong's suggestion and buy Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine in bulk. Chapter 1184. Going for wool and coming home. Sean, don't be too happy. If we didn't cancel the engagement with the Xiao family, our house Kang would have been flying high by now. You were the one who opposed your brother's point of view. Actually, Zhaoming's point of view is right. You need to learn from him. Dr. Kang looked at Zhaolong's smug face and scolded him. Yes. Grandpa, I understand. Zhaolong's expression tensed up as he replied carefully. Grandpa, I still insist on my point of view. Kang Mingming heard his grandpa's words and he didn't know where his courage came from. He forced himself to say this stubbornly. He knew that he couldn't back down now. He had to persevere no matter if it was right or wrong. But he thought that he was still very lucky. Everything he did recently had been going smoothly, and he managed to get it right a few times by sheer luck. Grandpa has already made the decision. Zhaoming, you don't have to say any more. I know what you're thinking, but right now, the family's interest is the most important. Zhaolong's tone was kind, but the sarcasm in his words was very thick. Anyone could tell that he was saying that Kang Mingming's point of view was destroying the family's interests. Do whatever you want if you don't want to listen to me. You'll only remember what I said when you suffer. Kang Zhaoming felt like he couldn't keep his face any longer. He spat out those words and left the room. Sigh. Miracle Dr. Kang looked at his second grandson's back, his heart a little conflicted. Was his second grandson really a man of great potential? Every time he raised a point of view, it was so shocking, but every time it was right on the mark. Was it really a coincidence, or did he see something? However, the stocking up this time didn't affect the family's profits much. Even if Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company continued to sell at this price, the family wouldn't lose anything. At most, they would just have to spend a little more effort. With that thought, Miracle Dr. Kang relaxed a little. The lion went to House Chu to be a follower, and Go Huli wasn't happy about it. This was a tamed lion that she had spent a great deal of effort to buy. How could Go Huli be willing to let the Chu clan have it so easily? The more she thought about it, the angrier she got. She couldn't sleep the whole night. The next morning, Go Huli went to House Chu to ask for the lion back. But Go Huli didn't know what to do. After all, if she asked for the lion just like that, not only would they not give it to her, they'd even scold her. With Yushu's ruthlessness, she'd definitely scold her. At the entrance of House Chu's mansion, Go Huli tiptoed and peeked in. She saw the lion lying in the yard, not moving at all. Go Huli felt like it was a godsend. Go Huli smiled and walked towards the lion. Go Huli smiled and walked towards the lion. Lion, little lion, sweetheart, come back with me. Huli smiled and walked over to the lion. The lion raised its eyelids lazily and looked at Go Huli before lowering its eyelids. It didn't even care about Go Huli, not even bothering to make a sound. A woo. Go Huli saw that the lion ignored her and lowered her voice to mimic the lion. She thought that since the lion was male, she'd be able to attract the lion's attention if she mimicked a lioness. But the lion didn't react at all. It didn't even look at Go Huli. Go Huli panicked, thinking that the lion didn't hear her. She raised her voice and roared again, a woo, a woo. But the lion still didn't care. Go Huli panicked even more, a woo, A woo, a woo, a woo. This time, she didn't attract the lion, but Yushu came out of the villa. Yushu thought that the lion was bored and came to teach it a lesson. But when she came out, she saw that it wasn't the lion, but Gohuli. Oh! Yushu looked at Gohuli confusedly. Old woman, your lion is gone, so you're pretending to be a lion to get attention? Gohuli heard Yushu's words and got angry from embarrassment. Pretending to be a lion? She just wanted to bring the lion back, but the lion didn't care about her at all. What could she do? Pretending to be a lion? I'm going to bring the lion back. Gohuli hemphed. Oh, do what you want then, Yushu said nonchalantly and went back to the villa. Gohuli was left here. She didn't know if she should leave or not. After a while, Gohuli stomped her feet and left angrily. She didn't have a choice. Yushu made it sound easy, but the lion wouldn't move. Couldn't Gohuli go and hug the lion? Gohuli thought about it and came up with an idea. The lion loved meat, especially fresh beef from the market. With that thought, Gohuli quickly went home and drove to the market. She bought a big piece of fresh beef and went back to Mengyao's villa. Lion, lion, I bought your favorite beef. Want to go home with me? Gohuli tempted the lion with the beef. Under the temptation of the beef, the lion looked up at Gohuli and stood up with a howl. Gohuli was overjoyed. An animal was an animal. Milk was a mother. She gave it food, so why wouldn't it go home with her? Little lion, come home with me. I'll give you big fish and meat every day. I promise you'll eat well. Gohuli raised the bag of beef in her hand proudly. The lion stood up and walked to Gohuli. It raised its head and bit down, snatching the bag of beef from her hand. Gohuli was afraid that the lion would bite her hand and let go subconsciously. The bag of beef went into the lion's mouth. Little lion, I've given you the beef. Come home with me, Gohuli said. But the lion turned around with the beef in its mouth and gave Gohuli a butt. The lion quickly ran to the door of the villa and scratched it with its front paw. After a while, the villa's door opened, and Yushu walked out. The lion gave the bag of beef to Yushu. Yushu took it and saw that it was full of fresh beef. She was overjoyed. Little lion, where did you get this beef? I was just worrying about what to eat tonight. Now, I can make curry beef and potatoes. Chapter 1185. Chapter 1183, Diarrhea. Thank you, old woman. You're such a nice person, sending meat to my house. Yushu waved her hand at Huli, who was livid with rage. I'm so pissed. Gohuli was furious, but there was nothing she could do. Yushu carried the beef back to the villa with a smile. Shield bro, Gohuli gave us some beef. See if it's okay. Lin Yi didn't go out, but he saw what happened from inside the house. He took the beef from Yushu and looked at it carefully, smelling it and licking it with his tongue. It's okay, it's very fresh. I'll cook it for you tonight. Oh, this old woman is so kind. Yushu clapped her hands. But this piece is too big, we can't finish it. Let's cut off half and give it to the lion. Lin Yi said. Okay. Yushu happily took the beef to the kitchen and cut off a big piece before tossing it to the lion. Little lion, this is your reward. Good job, keep it up. The lion shook its head and bit the piece of beef, as if it was thanking Yushu. Gohuli, who was watching from the yard, almost fainted from anger. She was the one who bought the meat. Gohuli was so depressed that she wanted to vomit blood. This lion was so ungrateful. Fine, since you're being unkind, don't blame me for being unkind. In her anger, Gohuli came up with an idea and drove the car back to the market. This time, she bought a big piece of pork but didn't leave immediately. She found a small pharmacy and bought a bottle of fruit tablets, a laxative. Gohuli left the pharmacy and found a place to rest. She crushed all the pieces of fruit and mixed them into the meat. She laughed and drove back to the villa area after the powder dissolved and couldn't be seen anymore. They arrived at House Chu's villa again, and Gohuli got off the car with the pork. She pretended to be impatient like before. Little lion, I'm here to see you again. I bought you your favorite pork, do you want to come back with me? As she spoke, she waved the pork in front of the lion. This time, the lion did the same thing as before. It walked over and bit the plastic bag in Huli's hand. bringing it to the villa's door and knocking with its front paw. Yushu came out a while later, confused as she looked at the plastic bag in the lion's mouth. Was Go-Huli an idiot? He had already suffered a loss once, and now he was suffering a second time? Was she addicted to suffering losses, or did she have a bad memory? But Yushu didn't say anything. She took the plastic bag from the lion's mouth and looked at Go-Huli. Thank you, old woman, for giving us food again. Why Ayaya? I'm so pissed. Go-Huli pretended to be angry. Yushu came back to the living room with the plastic bag and asked suspiciously, Shield bro, why did Go-Huli give us food again? Is there a problem? Let me see. Lin Yi took the meat from Yushu and smelled it. He wiped his hand on it and put it in his mouth. It's a laxative. Ah. Yushu was shocked and raged. I knew Go-Huli wouldn't be so nice. She gave us a big piece of pork after giving us beef. Isn't she an idiot? There's a problem. General Weiwu, come here for a second. Lin Yi waved his hand at Weiwu. Boss Lin Yi called, and General Weiwu ran over, shaking its head at Lin Yi. Take this to Go-Huli's kitchen. Don't let anyone see it. Leave it in the kitchen and come back. Lin Yi ordered. Woof woof. General Weiwu barked twice and left with the plastic bag in Lin Yi's hands. Yushu burst into laughter as she watched General Weiwu leave. Waha, Shield bro, you're so bad. Shu hasn't even thought of how to deal with that old woman Go-Huli, and you came up with such a bad idea. Waha, they're going to rob the toilet tonight. Ha! That's Go-Huli's fault. Lin Yi didn't think much of it. After all, he didn't do anything. The laxative was Go-Huli's own doing. What did it have to do with him? Go-Huli watched as Yushu entered the house and didn't come out again. She couldn't help but feel proud. It seemed like this idiot Yushu took the pork back. As long as they ate it, they'd have to go to the toilet. At night, Xiao family's dinner was very sumptuous. Today was Xiao family's nanny's first day. After Mrs. Yu left, Go-Huli found a full-time nanny from a housekeeping company to take care of Xiao family's daily cleaning and cooking. On the first day, this nanny cooked a few dishes and showed off her culinary skills. This was to gain the Xiao family's approval. Go-Huli was very satisfied with the home-cooked dishes on the table. This nanny wasn't bad. She'd keep her for now. Go-Huli didn't plan on kicking her out. The entire House Xiao and the two masters from House Pai sat around the table and ate heartily. Everyone ate happily, especially Go-Huli. Because of Go-Huli, she taught House Chu a lesson today. No one in House Chu's villa would be able to sleep peacefully tonight. There was braised pork, double-cooked pork, and all kinds of home-cooked meat dishes on the table. To Xiao family, they had eaten too many delicacies. These home-cooked dishes were very cheap. Go-Huli ate a lot and was very full. However, after the whole family ate and drank to their heart's content, the problem came. First, it was Xiao Wangba and Xiao Wangdao. Their stomachs began to growl. These two were young people and ate more, especially meat. So it was reasonable for them to be the first to react. And so, these two started running to the toilet. Next was Go-Huli's turn. Because of her mood, Go-Huli ate a lot, especially meat. So, she started running to the toilet as well. Then, it was Xiao Ji, Xiao Ben, and Xiao Ben's wife. Finally, it was the two masters from House Pai. The two masters from House Pai ate a lot as well, but because of their strong physique, they waited until the last to react. Chapter 1186. Go-Huli, dumbstruck seeing the Xiao family start to have diarrhea, Nanny Liu's face was as white as a sheet. Without a doubt, she was the only one who didn't eat with the Xiao family, and she was the only one who didn't have diarrhea. This meant that there was something wrong with the food she prepared. Nanny Liu, what kind of food is this? Are you trying to kill us? Finally, the diarrhea came to an end, and Go-Huli leaned on the sofa with a pale face. The rest of the Xiao family were also lying on the sofa and chairs, except for the two masters from House Pai. They were martial artists after all, and their bodies were stronger than normal people. But even so, their faces were pale, and there was sweat on their forehead. As the saying goes, a man can't stand 3 splashes of shit. Big madam, I don't know either. I used ready-made ingredients. The ingredients were bought by young master and young master from the supermarket. I was in charge of cooking. Nanny Liu answered very carefully. Although she didn't know why this happened, she couldn't avoid the responsibility since everyone in the Xiao family had a stomachache. Is that so? Wangba, Wangdao, did you guys buy something that's not fresh? Go Huli turned her gaze to Wangba and Wangdao. No, we bought it from the supermarket, and it's very fresh. We can't buy something that's not fresh, Wangba said, feeling wronged. Our Xiao family is not the same as before, and there are 2 masters from House Pie here. I couldn't buy processed meat, I bought the best. That's weird. Could it be that there are some things that can't be eaten together? Go Huli held her stomach and frowned. Wait, bro, do you remember that when we bought meat, we didn't buy streaky pork, only the tenderloin? How did you make this braised pork? Wang Dao slapped his thigh. Yeah. We didn't buy streaky pork. Xiao Wangba suddenly remembered something. Auntie Liu, where did this streaky pork come from? Did you buy it yourself? No. Nanny Liu felt wronged. The streaky pork is with the other ingredients in the kitchen. I'm still on probation and haven't gotten paid yet. How could I possibly spend my own money to buy meat? You're right. Where did the streaky pork come from? Xiao Ben felt that Nanny Liu didn't seem to be lying, and it was impossible for his son and the eldest family's son to join forces to lie. The only possibility was that there was something wrong. At first, Xiao Ben didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Wasn't it just diarrhea after running? But after listening to Auntie Liu and her son's words, she suddenly felt that something was wrong. Second master, I don't know either, Nanny Liu quickly said. By the way, there is still a large piece of streaky pork left in the kitchen. I haven't finished it yet. It's in the kitchen now. Why don't you go and have a look? Of course I have to go and take a look, Xiao Ben said solemnly, standing up first. Xiao Ji, Go Huli, Xiao Ben's wife, Xiao Wangba, and Xiao Wangdao also stood up and went to the kitchen. As expected, Xiao Ben saw a large piece of raw streaky pork in the fridge. It was wrapped in a plastic bag with a price tag on it. Today's date is written on the tag. It should be a fresh piece of meat. Xiao Ben picked up the pork and frowned. Huli, who was standing behind, froze when she saw the bag in Xiao Ben's hand. She stared at the bag as if she was struck by lightning. Her eyes widened. How could she not recognize this bag of streaky pork? She had bought it from the market before. She could still remember the price tag clearly. At this moment, Huli finally understood why she and the entire Xiao family had diarrhea. It was because she put laxatives in the pork herself. Huli's face turned pale at the thought. But what Go Huli didn't understand was how the meat ended up in her kitchen. Didn't the lion give it to Yushu? Could it be that the meat could fly and came here by itself? Go Huli felt as if she had swallowed a fly. She was reaping what she sowed. This meat wasn't bought from the supermarket. It was bought from the market. I don't think Wangba and Wangdao bought it together. Xiao Ben looked at the price tag and compared it with the labels on other supermarkets. Then he said, so, this piece of meat is very suspicious, but it shouldn't be the problem with the meat itself. This meat looks very fresh. It should have been tampered with later. Yes, you're right, brother. Xiao Ji nodded and said, second brother, look at the plastic bag. There's white powder. Could it be laxative? Xiao Ji pointed at the bottom of the bag. There was a fine white powder. It was just that if one didn't look closely, they wouldn't be able to see it. Mother Liu was scared. Master, I don't know. I didn't do it. I don't know. Whether it's you or not, take this meat to the market tomorrow and ask the boss. We'll know. This piece of meat is very big and expensive. The boss will definitely have an impression of it. When the time comes, we can just ask who bought it. Xiao Ben had an idea. No need to ask. I bought the meat. Go Huli said with a sad face, her expression extremely ugly. Although it was unfortunate, Go Huli had to admit it. It was very strange after all, and she wanted Xiao Ben to analyze it for her. You bought it. Sister-in-law, you bought it. Xiao Ben paused. He looked at Huli strangely. He didn't believe that Huli would poison the Xiao family. Plus, Huli ate it herself. She was a victim too. You bitch. Are you trying to kill the Xiao family? Xiao Ji was enraged by Go Huli's words and slapped her across the face. Go Huli's vision was spinning and she almost fell to the ground. Brother, what are you doing? Sister-in-law didn't do it on purpose. Didn't she eat it herself? Xiao Ben was speechless at his brother's temper. Wasn't he too quick to anger? As soon as Go Huli admitted it, he slapped her face. Chumph, then what's going on? Xiao Ji hemped coldly and looked at Huli. Chapter 1187. Go to the Xiao family. Xiao Ben listened to Go Huli's explanation and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. There was no doubt that this was done by someone from House Chu's villa. Xiao Ben knew Lin Yi's strength very well. It wouldn't be hard to sneak a piece of pork into House Xiao's kitchen without anyone noticing. It seemed like Lin Yi had seen through Huli's tricks and was giving her a taste of her own medicine. Fuck. You useless bitch, you're such a waste. Xiao Ji slapped her again. I'm telling you, a lion is nothing. Second brother has already thought of a way to help you teach the Chu people a lesson. How could you do it on your own? Are you okay now? Did something happen? We're all in trouble with you. My stomach. Big brother, it's fine, this is a good thing. Luckily, sis-in-law bought laxatives. If it was poison, we'd be in the hospital right now. Xiao Ben smiled helplessly. Let's just forget about this. It's not a big deal for us, but we've dragged the two Pai masters into this. I'm fine, I have my martial arts to protect me, it's nothing. The older man didn't want to lose face because of this, so he waved his hand and said nonchalantly, people who practice martial arts have good bodies. That's good. Xiao Ben let out a breath of relief. I've let Elder Pai and Mr. Pai see us as a joke, it's nothing. Since there's nothing else, I'll be going back to my room to rest. Elder Pai left after saying that. He needed to go to the toilet right away. 3 days passed in a blink of an eye, and Huli didn't appear in the hospital again. It was as if she had forgotten about it. Other than manager Zhong from the housekeeping company coming to Mrs. Yu's room with some compensation, no one else showed up. Gowden said that his boss was a great healer, and that he should have a way to heal her mother's leg, but his boss hadn't come to check it himself, nor had he come to give a conclusion. Yuan was still a bit worried. Zhu Jiaming, do you think? That boss of yours, can he really heal Mom? Of course he can. Yuan, do you believe me? Just trust me, I won't lie to you. Gowden patted his chest. Okay. Yuan let out a breath of relief upon hearing Gowden's confidence. Yuan, the evil master of this lion still hasn't appeared. I need to go get an explanation from her. We can't just get bullied for no reason. Gowden had been keeping track of the time these days. 3 days was up, and he couldn't sit still anymore. How about, just forget it. I'm afraid that you're not their opponent and will cause more trouble. Yuan said with some worry. It had been a few days since the incident, and Yuan's mentality had also calmed down a little. Other than some sadness, there wasn't as much anger as before. That won't do. My boss said, if someone dares to bully us, then we have to bully them back, and we have to bully them twice as much. I can't lose face for boss. You're my friend. If you get bullied, it's the same as me getting bullied. I need to get an explanation, Gowden said, a little agitated. Man, be careful then. If they don't listen to reason, then forget it. Yuan didn't have a choice now that Gowden insisted. These 2 days, Gowden had gotten the address of his employer from his mother. Yuan knew Gowden's personality, and she knew that she couldn't stop him even if she wanted to. Got it, I'll go get them now. If that bitch doesn't give me an explanation, I'll kill that lion with one punch, Gowden said and walked out of the room, looking for Go Huli's house. Yuan sighed as she watched Gowden leave. She didn't know if she should be happy or troubled. With Gowden by her side, naturally, they felt safer than before, but Gowden was so reckless, wanting to kill people for no reason at all. This made Yuan worried and troubled. She hoped that he didn't cause any trouble. Gowden was smarter this time. In order to avoid getting lost, he had a map of Songshan in his pocket, following the markings on the map to the Xiao house's villa. Looking at the luxurious villa, Gowden was a little envious. This house was so grand. Even when he lived in Yuan's house, He felt that it was much more comfortable than the houses in the village, but now this villa looked like a palace. No wonder the people living here were so arrogant. But, even if they were arrogant, they still had to take responsibility if their pet bit someone. Gowden didn't know anything about doorbells. In the village, people basically yelled to find people, and when they went to other people's houses, they just banged on the door. What doorbell? Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Gowden started banging on the iron fence outside the villa. Of course, as angry as he was at how unreasonable the mistress of the house was, he didn't know what she wanted, so he couldn't just break the fence. Gowden's voice was as loud as a megaphone, and everyone in the Xiao family's villa heard him loud and clear. Is anyone there? Is there anyone in the villa? Gowden banged on the fence crazily again. The door of the villa finally opened. Xiao Ji walked out of the villa. Who is it? Shouting in front of the Xiao family's house. Do you want to die? It's me. Gowden pointed at Xiao Ji. Where's Go Huli? Get her out here. Go Huli. Xiao Ji's face darkened as he looked at Gowden, not knowing who he was. Who are you? Why are you looking for my wife? Oh, Go Huli's your wife. That's perfect. Get her out here. Gowden heard that Go Huli was Xiao Ji's wife, and he knew that he'd come to the right place. Who are you calling a wife? Go Huli came with Xiao Ji, and she was just called a wife by Yushu, and now Gowden was calling her a wife again. She was a bit pissed. You're here to cause trouble, aren't you? Chapter 1188. House Pie's master attacks your Go Huli. I'm looking for you. Gowden pointed at the iron door. Open it. Let me in. Open it. You're here to cause trouble, aren't you? Can't you see where you are? Is this a place you can do whatever you want? How dare you yell at me? Do you want to die? Go Huli, naturally, didn't think much of Gowden. You wicked old woman, you are indeed a little unreasonable. No wonder the lion doesn't have the slightest attitude of admitting its mistake after biting her. Gowden looked at Huli's arrogant face, and he knew that she didn't feel guilty at all about her mother getting bitten by the lion. The lion bit someone? You're here to cause trouble for that cleaner? Go Huli's face darkened. She knew why Gowden was here. The lion had only bitten one person since entering the villa. Naturally, Go Huli knew who it was. I'm not here to cause trouble, I'm here to demand an explanation. Your lion bit someone, why didn't you go apologize? Don't you have any conscience or morals? Gowden pointed at Huli and questioned. Get lost. You're not welcome here. Go Huli was still pissed about the lion, and Gowden was here again. Thinking about the lion, she got even angrier. She waved her hand impatiently, wanting to chase him away. You're still here? Xiao Ji thought it was something serious, but it was just the family of a cleaner, coming to demand an explanation. Xiao Ji waved his hand as well. Didn't I pay you guys money? What, you think it's too little? It's not about the money, it's about the attitude. I'm here to demand an explanation. Gowden didn't expect this family to be this unreasonable. The women were unreasonable, and the men were unreasonable. They were all arrogant bastards. Don't do this the hard way. Scram now and I'll let this go, but if you don't leave now, don't blame me for being rude. Xiao Ji hemped coldly. Don't you know where you are? How dare you act like this? It seems like your whole family is unreasonable. Gowden didn't want to waste time with someone like this. If that's the case, I won't bother you guys anymore. Hand over the lion, I'll kill it with one punch, and I'll leave. Haha. Go Huli smiled coldly. The lion isn't here. What can you do even if it's here? You want to beat me to death? Stop bragging, I won't bite you to death. Xiao Ben didn't believe Gowden, too. He smiled coldly and turned around to go back to the villa with Huli, ignoring Gowden. Alright, since you won't let me in, I'll go find it myself. With that, Gowden pulled with his hand, and the iron fence seemed to be made of soft mud. It was torn apart without any resistance. After tearing down the bars, Gowden walked in as if he didn't care about Xiao Ji and Go Huli at all. Xiao Ji and Go Huli were stunned. They thought that Gowden was just a relative of the cleaner, and a small character like this wasn't someone the Xiao family would care about. But this Gowden suddenly turned into a master, and that thick iron fence was like soft mud in his hand. This scared the hell out of Xiaoji and Huli. Of course, they were people who had seen the world, and they knew that martial arts practitioners were powerful. Could this person be a practitioner as well? Xiaoji panicked and said to Huli, "Let's go. Find the masters from House Pai." Huli didn't dare linger, following Xiaoji up the stairs. Xiaoji called out as he ran, "Not good, Elder Pai, Mr. Pai, someone's here to cause trouble for the Xiao family, please help us." Elder Pai and Mr. Pai were practicing when they heard Xiaoji's call. They frowned. Could it be that the Xiao family was in some trouble? After Elder Pai and Mr. Pai came to the Xiao family treated them like they were their ancestors, serving them with good food and drinks. House Pai had told them that they would only ask for help if there was a problem that the Xiao family couldn't handle, but there hadn't been any trouble recently, and it made them feel a little embarrassed. Now that someone was here to cause trouble, it was the perfect chance for Elder Pai to show off his skills. But Elder Pai was a little worried, was this a normal gangster, or a real master? If it was a real master, then he'd be able to handle it, but dealing with a gangster would be lowering his status. What's going on? Head of the Xiao family, someone's here to cause trouble? Elder Pai pushed the door open and asked. Old Pai, help. The person who came is also a master. With just a casual tug, he tore the iron bars apart. It was as easy as playing with mud. Xiaoji quickly said. Oh. The iron bars at the entrance were all torn apart. Elder Pai furrowed his brows. He knew how thick the iron fence in front of the mansion was. If someone could tear it apart, it would be impossible for a normal person to do so. This person must be a cultivator. He was at least golden class early phase, too. Was he a spiritual practitioner or a physical practitioner? With that thought, Elder Pai turned to Mr. Pai. Let's go see what's going on. Thank you, Elder Pai. Xiaoji, naturally, breathed out in relief. No matter how strong this person was, with Elder Pai here, it was a piece of cake. Elder Pai brought Mr. Pai downstairs, bumping into Gowden, who was walking up the stairs. He looked around, searching for the lion. It looks like you're here to cause trouble. Elder Pai stood in front of Gowden, asking faintly. He couldn't tell Gowden's strength right now, and whether it was a spiritual practitioner or a physical practitioner, one couldn't tell unless they used their practitioner's arts or attacked. Of course, that was excluding people like Lin Yi who had a golden finger. Who are you? You're the helper that the men and women hired. Gowden looked at Elder Pai oddly. Why are they so dumb? Why did they hire an old man? All right, get out of my way, I still need to find the lion. How dare you disrespect Elder Pai? The young man beside Elder Pai was enraged. Elder Pai was a man of status. He had some status in House Pai, and he was Mr. Pai's elder. Mr. Pai wasn't happy with Gowden's disrespect. He wanted to teach this idiot a lesson, and so he sent a slap towards Gowden's face. Chapter 1189. Chapter 1187. The tragedy of a misunderstanding. What he didn't expect was that Gowden didn't seem to care at all. He grabbed Mr. Pai's hand and pulled it lightly to the side, sending Mr. Pai flying out from the third floor, crashing into the marble coffee table in the living room with a loud thud. It was quite a heavy fall, and he fainted right away. Mr. Pai was a mystic early phase. He was quite a powerful being. Not to mention falling from the third floor, even if he fell from the fifth floor, he would still be fine. Especially for someone like him who practiced external martial arts, his physical fitness was incomparably tyrannical. But today, he'd failed miserably. 1. He'd underestimated his foe, and was thrown off the building by Gowden. When he reacted, it was already too late. Plus, how strong was Gowden? Even if he reacted, he wouldn't be able to compete with Gowden's strength. Gowden had even thrown him with hidden energy, and there was no reason for him not to faint. Gowden's sudden move froze Elder Pai. He didn't expect Gowden to be this strong, throwing Mr. Pai out in one move. While it was part of him underestimating his foe, it also meant that this person wasn't weak. More importantly, Gowden had made his move in an instant, and Elder Pai didn't even have time to see what level Gowden was before he pulled his hand back. Elder Pai was regretting it. It was his fault for not paying attention, but the more he thought about it, the angrier he got. He'd lost face in front of a junior. Kid, which force are you from? Are you here to have sex? Elder Pai decided to investigate Gowden's background first. Old man, I'm here to find the lion, not to have sex. As for that guy just now, he was the one who hit me first, that's why I threw him out. Gowden was a reasonable man. Give me the lion, I'll kill it with one punch, and I'll leave now. Kid, I think you don't know your place. You dare make such a request in front of me? Elder Pai raged. Good, very good. You have guts. In front of this old man, not many people dare to be so arrogant. You really don't put me in your eyes. Brat, no matter who you are, you have to pay the price today. Old Pai saw that Gowden didn't give him any face, and he got even more pissed off. This was blatant disrespect. He wasn't a normal person in House Pai, and he was about to break through to Earth class. How could he be looked down upon by a kid here? Gowden looked at Elder Pai, confused. I don't even know who you are, and you keep calling me old man. Are you trying to help the lion, or are you just bored? If you have nothing better to do, then go away. I don't want to beat you up. Wayayayaya. I'm Pai Yang. Elder Pai was pissed off the guy wanted to beat him up, but he didn't. How many years had it been? He was one of the top figures in the hidden houses, and he'd never been humiliated like this before. And so, he announced his name, someone that even the 8 noble houses had to give him some face. Ha! Gowden paused. You're itching for a beating? Gowden's thoughts were a mess. This old man really had nothing better to do, coming here to meddle in other people's business. The reason was that he was itching for a beating. Gowden was a practical man, but he was in a bit of a dilemma today. This old man was stopping him from going to the lion just because he was itching for a beating. Wasn't itching to get beaten up. But he didn't have anything to do with this guy, and he didn't want to beat him up. But, from the looks of it, if he didn't get rid of this old man, he wouldn't let him go to the lion. Gowden had no choice but to ask, Are you itching for a beating? That's right. I'm Pai Yang. Elder Pai saw the awkward and troubled look on Gowden's face, thinking that he'd heard of his name before. It seemed that his name was quite useful, after all. In the common world, he was a very powerful existence, and all the practitioners knew about it. This made things easier. Since this Gowden knew him, he'd tell him who his master was and where he came from. If he was from a small sect or a small noble house, then he'd help House Pai extort some money from them. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to extort money from them. Pai Yang thought that if he could extort a sum of money from them, the patriarch would definitely be very happy. Man, I didn't want to hit you, but since you're itching for a beating, then I have no choice but to beat you up first. Otherwise, you wouldn't have let me go to the lion. Gowden sighed helplessly before raising his fist and punching at Yang face. Yang didn't understand what Gowden was talking about, and just as he was thinking about what he meant, Gowden's huge fist came smashing at him, making him see stars. Pai Yang was a mystic late-phase peak master, and his defense was quite strong as well. Normal attacks were useless against him, unless it was an opponent of a higher level. Gowden, however, was an exception. After a few punches, Yang was stunned. I'm Pai Yang. I'm Pai Yang. I'm not itching. Yang finally realized what was going on. This brat in front of him thought his name was itching for a beating. After Pai Yang figured it out, he quickly yelled out while protecting his vitals. It hurt so much. While Pai Yang felt humiliated and indignant, he was also a little shocked. He knew how strong he was, and the person who could beat him up so badly had to be at least in the middle phase of the mystic class. This kid in front of him was this strong. But the next moment, Yang was even more shocked. He heard a crisp crack, and his right leg started hurting. Yang realized that his leg was broken by Gowden. To be able to break a mystic late-phase peak master's leg even after protecting his vitals, what kind of terrifying level was his own strength? Was he beyond mystic late-phase peak? Chapter 1190. Chapter 1188, Xiao family's trouble. I'm sorry, I couldn't control my strength. Gowden scratched his head, embarrassed. I didn't want you to kill me, so I controlled my strength very carefully, but I didn't expect your leg to be this weak. I accidentally broke it. What? Yang couldn't believe his ears. This was it, and the guy was holding back. He controlled his strength very carefully because he didn't want him to kill him? Didn't that mean that the guy's true strength was even stronger than what he saw? What kind of monster did the Xiao family provoke? This was way too strong. My God, what kind of monster did the Xiao family provoke this time? It's a little too valiant. Regardless of whether Gaodan was telling the truth or not, whether he was just bragging or hiding his strength, just what he had shown so far was already much stronger than Yang Yang himself. If Pai Yang were to fight against an expert of the same level, he wouldn't have the confidence to injure his opponent when the opponent was fully defending himself. Perhaps neither of them could win, but it was also impossible to injure one of them. That was why Pai Yang was overwhelmed with shock. This place was truly crouching tigers and hidden dragons. A random idiot-like youth already possessed such formidable strength. It's fine, you're a mystic late phase peak, right? My boss said that this level has self-healing capabilities, so it'll be easier for you to recover. You'll be fine after a few days, Gaodan comforted. Don't worry. But it's not my fault. You said I came to find a lion, and you just had to cause trouble, asking me to beat you up. Man, the world really is full of surprises. Yang heard Gaodan's words and couldn't spit out a mouthful of blood. His eyes rolled back, and he fainted. He'd never felt so humiliated since becoming famous. But what could he do? Yang felt that he wasn't a match for Gaodan at all. Xiao Ji and Huli were stunned as well. What kind of terrifying guy was this? Even a peak late phase mystic class master was no match for him. Could he be an earth class master? Thinking of this, Xiao Ji's legs went limp. The Xiao family had just gotten a little better. Why did such a terrifying person suddenly appear? Xiao Ji was furious and worried as he slapped at Go Huli. You bitch, look at what you've done. It was just a stupid lion, wasn't it? Did he cause trouble? Did you bite someone you shouldn't have? Go Huli was scared out of her wits. Xiao Ji hit her, but she didn't dare to complain. She covered her face and lowered her head. Go Huli was helpless. She knew such a powerful person, and even the hidden house pies masters weren't his match, and she still wanted to be a cleaner. Even becoming a great bandit would make money faster than this. If you were short of money, you could just send this person to the noble houses to ask for a favor. I'm sure none of them would dare refuse. Even house you would have to be respectful to this person, wouldn't they? Don't you think I have nothing better to do? Great, I'm really unlucky this time. Hero. Spare us. No matter how much money you want, we, the Xiao family, will give it to you. Please have mercy and let us go. Xiao Ji was the typical type of person who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Gaodan had given him too much of a shock. Even the hidden house pies masters weren't his match, so what else could he do? Hurry up and beg for mercy. Yeah, didn't you want an explanation? I was wrong. I'm not a good master of the lion, I deserve to be beaten. With that, Huli started slapping herself on the face, making a loud sound. If you said that earlier, I wouldn't have come up, right? Aren't you just wasting time? Gaodan thought that his boss was right in front of absolute power. These people were nothing but clowns. Gaodan hemphed. Where's the lion? Call the lion out. I'll kill it with one punch and we'll forget about this. Go Huli didn't doubt that Gaodan could kill the lion with one punch. Even a master like Pai Yang was heavily injured, let alone a lion. But the problem was that the lion wasn't here. Go Huli said carefully, Hero, the lion isn't in the villa now, it's gone. Gone? Is it because you saw it did something wrong and decided to help it get away? Gaodan glared angrily. What? Go Huli paused. Was there something wrong with her? Why would she help a lion escape? But she didn't dare say that to Gaodan. Who knew what kind of temper this guy had? He might just kill her with one punch. She smiled bitterly. Hero, that lion ran away on its own, it has nothing to do with us. Sir, if you're looking for the lion, I'll tell you where it is. Just go there and find it. Xiao Ben, who'd been hiding in the dark, finally came out. When he saw Gaodan's strength, he felt a chill in his heart. The Xiao family was really unlucky this time, encountering such a strong enemy. What should he do? But as he continued to observe, he realized that Gaodan only wanted to find the lion, not cause trouble for the Xiao family. What happened with Pai Yang was just a misunderstanding, and this old Pai had been wronged. So Xiao Ben was thinking, could he turn this bad thing into a good thing? Suddenly, he thought of a good idea to divert the trouble to others. The lion ran away, but it went to House Chu's villa. Wasn't Gowden looking for the lion? Then he'd go to House Chu's villa, and there'd be conflict with the Chu people. Then he'd beat up Lin Yi too, and it'd be best if he crippled him. That way, he'd get his revenge for the Xiao family. Xiao Ben felt that he really was a genius. Even the ancient Zhuge Liang couldn't compare to him, right? No wonder even Big Brother, the patriarch, had to listen to his words. He had the strength. Oh, where's the lion? Gowden turned to Xiao Ben. That lion's a bit arrogant, and now that it found a stronger master, it's ignoring us. I heard that the lion has a golden class dog as its boss, Xiao Ben said solemnly. It wasn't a secret that House Chu had a golden class dog, and anyone in the noble houses would know about it. What? Golden class dog? There's a golden class dog? Gowden's eyes went wide, but he waved his hand after some thought. Who cares what class it is if it dares to protect the lion, I'll kill it too. Chapter 1191. Gowden and Yushu before, Huli was a bit annoyed that her man, the head of the house, had to discuss everything with Xiao Ben. Who was the head of the house now? Wasn't this the same as Xiao Ben being in charge? But now, Huli truly admired Xiao Ben. He was too strong, too evil. That's right. The owner of that family is very powerful and powerful. You have to be careful, hero, he's very protective. I'm afraid you're not his match, Xiao Ben said. Even if he's protective, he needs to give me an explanation. Gowden raged, if they dare to do that, I'll kill them with one punch. Then you'll be doing the people a favor. Xiao Ben smiled. That family is doing whatever they want in this villa district, it's already a big deal. If you can kill them, everyone will thank you. Tell me the address, I'll go meet them right now. Gowden wasn't an idiot, but he was a simple man. Whatever Xiao Ben said, he'd believe it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been scammed by Xiaoke until he was penniless. Let's go, Mr. Warrior, I'll send you off and show you the way. Xiao Ben made a welcoming gesture as he spoke respectfully. Gowden came out of the Xiao family villa and ran to the Chu villa according to Xiao Ben's directions. The Xiao family, on the other hand, started laughing happily as they watched Gowden leave. Brother, you're really something. Sending such a strong guy to cause trouble for House Chu, even Lin Yi wouldn't be a match for him. Xiao Ji gave him a thumbs up. Of course I'm not his opponent. Xiao Ben smiled, it'd be best if their conflict gets more intense and they kill that Lin Yi. Then we can take over House Chu's company. The Xiao family had always wanted Peng Zhan's assets, and it was a sore point that they couldn't get it last time. Now that they had House Pai's support, the Xiao family naturally wanted to regain their face, but they never had the chance to do so. Now that Gowden was here, even if Lin Yi didn't die, he'd be heavily injured, and they could make their move on House Chu. Brilliant, second brother. Xiao Ji nodded, right, the two masters from House Pai. Big brother, I almost forgot about them if you didn't mention it. Hurry up and send them to the hospital. Don't let anything happen to them. They are the support of our Xiao family. With that, Xiao Ben ran back into the villa. The two masters from House Pai might not be a match for Gowden, but they were more than enough to deal with the other noble houses. Therefore, Xiao Ji quickly dialed the emergency number and called an ambulance. Gowden ran all the way to House Chu's villa, and as expected, he saw a lion and a dog on the lawn. The dog seemed to be training the lion, making it jump up and down. This dog wasn't simple. Gowden looked at the dog. He couldn't tell how strong the dog was, but it didn't seem weak. Otherwise, a lion wouldn't be this obedient. Gowden was born in a village, and he often hunted in the mountains. He knew the habits of animals. This lion was afraid of a dog, so there was a problem. Not far from the dog and lion stood two beautiful girls. One was tall and slender, while the other was slightly buxom. The slightly buxom girl was giving instructions to the dog, as if she was telling the dog the training plan for the lion. Gowden's face reddened as he looked at the two beautiful girls. Why were the girls in the city so beautiful? But Gowden only took one look before moving his eyes away. Don't look at indecent things, that was what his dad told him. When Gowden was very young, his dad always told him that farmers shouldn't find wives that were too pretty, or they wouldn't be able to keep them. Gowden knew his place, too. He had some strength in his hands, but he wasn't handsome, smart, or brave. Finding Yuan was already a blessing from 8 lifetimes. He didn't dare think about girls that were too pretty, but Gowden was a bit puzzled. Didn't they say that the owners of this house were all bad people? How could such pretty girls be bad people? Go Huli did look like an old hag, sharp and mean, but these 2 girls in front of him were too cute and pretty. They didn't look like bad people at all. Looking at the lock, Gowden knocked on the door. He really couldn't do anything to these 2 pretty girls, even though he knew that not all pretty girls had good hearts. For example, that Xiaoke he met at the train station, wasn't she just a liar? But Gowden thought that he should try to be polite before resorting to violence. He hoped that these 2 girls would be reasonable. Who are you looking for? Yushu was in the middle of training the lion to guard the villa when someone knocked on the door. She turned around to see a plainly dressed young man standing outside the villa's door. She asked, startled, "I'm looking for this lion. This lion bit my friend's mother, and I'm here to demand an explanation. Let me deal with this lion, and I'll let this go." Gowden, on the other hand, didn't make a move right away. After all, he knew that this was a bit complicated. The lion might have come here, but the bite was in the Xiao villa. It had nothing to do with these 2 girls, so he didn't have anything to do with them. He just wanted to get the lion back. Lion? Bit your friend's mother? That's impossible. This lion hasn't left our house since coming here. Why would it bite your friend's mother? Are you sure you're not mistaken? Yushu didn't know what Gowden was talking about. This lion belongs to Go Huli, right? My friend's mother is a cleaner at Go Huli's house, and she got bitten by this lion. I'm here to demand an explanation. Gowden explained. Fuck. Since she got bitten at Go Huli's house, you can go get an explanation from Go Huli. Why are you looking for a lion? Why are you bickering with a beast? If it weren't for that evil master, this lion wouldn't have bitten your friend's mother. Yushu didn't want to waste time talking to Gowden anymore, so she waved her hand. She's already apologized and paid the compensation. Now, we only need this lion. Give it to me, I'll kill it with 1 punch. Gowden was a bit narrow-minded. He felt that Yushu was right, but this lion was still ferocious. Chapter 1192. Chapter 1190. Call him over. If it weren't for Gowden's honesty, Yushu wouldn't be talking to him this much. So you're saying that you're going to protect this lion? Gowden frowned, thinking that this girl was quite domineering. It seemed that he had to use force after saying no. Meng Yarrow frowned as well. As far as she was concerned, this was a bit hard to handle. Shu was right, but Gowden was an honest person, and if he really wanted to cause trouble for the lion, it would make sense. Mister, this lion is just an animal, it doesn't know who to bite. Without the owner's permission, it wouldn't bite. Meng Yarrow explained, look, it's in my house now, it won't bite. Gowden was speechless. He wasn't good with words, and Meng Yarrow and Yushu's words made him speechless. But if he really turned around and left like this, he wouldn't want to just let the lion go like this. Even if they were right, should he just let the lion go like this? Gowden sighed, how about this? This animal bit my friend's mother's leg, so I'll break its leg. No. Yushu panicked. It wasn't easy to get a guard in the house, and if his leg was broken, what was he supposed to do? Seeing that she couldn't get through to Gowden, Yushu got a little angry. She wasn't an easy person to talk to. She didn't want to talk to Gowden anymore. If you don't leave, I'll get the lion's boss to teach you a lesson. The lion's boss. Gowden blinked. This lion has a boss. That's fine, since it's the boss, I'll get the boss for his lackey's mistakes. This is the lion's boss, General Weiwu. If you don't leave, I'll open the door and let the dog out. Why are you so stubborn? Yushu pointed at General Weiwu, threatening Gowden. This dog. Gowden looked at General Weiwu. It wasn't that he looked down on it, but he'd killed countless animals before, why would he be afraid of a dog? So he said, open the door and let it out. I can even break its legs. Gowden was a very honest man. He didn't come for the money, he just wanted an explanation. Like many other victims, he just wanted the perpetrators to pay the price and get an explanation. As for money, it was secondary. Come in if you dare. Yushu wouldn't open the door for Gauden. Gauden didn't want to use force, but since Yushu was being unreasonable, he wouldn't go easy on her. Gauden gripped the iron fence with both hands, and with a slight tug, the fence broke just like the one in front of the Xiao family's villa, as if the steel was soft. Holy shit. Yushu's eyes went wide. You're that strong? General Weiwu was very lazy at first, but after seeing Gauden's sudden display of strength, he was shocked. He stood up straight and looked at Gauden cautiously. This man was very dangerous. Gauden looked at the broken fence and estimated that he might not be a match for him. Gauden didn't dare attack first, standing in front of Meng Yaro and Yushu. He had to protect them, and as for the lion, he wouldn't be able to protect it. General Weiwu's actions, naturally, didn't escape Yushu's eyes. Looking at the way General Weiwu acted, Yushu guessed that even General Weiwu wouldn't be a match for Gauden. How could Yushu let Gauden get to General Weiwu when she saw him coming for her? She called out, "Wait." Gauden was about to grab General Weiwu when he was startled by Yushu's shout. He subconsciously stopped and raised his head. "What are you doing? Do you want me to hit a dog or a lion?" Gauden, naturally, thought that Yushu saw his strength and didn't want General Weiwu to do anything. "Wait, if you want to touch this dog, you need to get permission from the dog's boss." Yushu felt that the only way to deal with this person was to call Lin Yi. "This dog's boss. Isn't this dog yours?" Gauden paused, a little confused. He didn't expect this dog to have a boss. "Of course this dog is mine, but it has a boss too." Yushu said, "This dog's boss is very strong, and if he knows you hit the dog, he won't let you go. You might be able to break the iron fence, but it's just a small trick for Shield Bro. Last time, my boobs got caught in the fence, and it was Shield Bro who helped me break it open," Yushu said proudly, and accidentally said too much. Shoo. Meng Yaro didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Yushu's words. Why did she have to bring this up? Wouldn't she be a joke? As expected, Gauden's face turned red from Yushu's word. This girl was too bold, wasn't she? How could she say something like this? Gauden's face turned red, and he said helplessly, "All right, call the dog's boss over. I'll talk to the dog's boss, okay?" Gauden was really getting a headache from Yushu's words. When he went to the Xiao family was acting all high and mighty, so it was easy to deal with. Gauden could just make a move and deal with it. But now, they were just talking, and Gauden didn't have the face to hit these two pretty girls. Plus, they didn't have much to do with this. Gauden was a man who knew right from wrong, and naturally, he wouldn't hit people for no reason. But the problem was, he could be reasonable, but this girl in front of him was unreasonable. Gauden was the dumbest, and he couldn't beat her in an argument. And so, after going around and around, she didn't look for the lion anymore, but Shield Bro. "Shield Bro's here, and you'll have to submit. I advise you to leave now, or I won't care if Shield Bro beats you up." Yushu tried to scare him. "You've already destroyed our villa. Do you know what happened to the person who destroyed our villa's gate last time?" "No." Gauden shook his head. "Shield Bro killed him with one punch," Yushu said. "Ooh." Gauden thought to himself, why is this so similar to his style? They both like to kill people with one punch. But Gauden wasn't afraid. "I'm just asking for an explanation. Go get that Shield Bro." Chapter 1193. Do you know him? Gauden was speechless after hearing Yushu's words. Could this dog talk? Did this girl watch too many cartoons? Lin Yi was practicing, so he didn't pay attention to what was going on in the yard. Lin Yi, naturally, knew that Yushu and Meng Yaro were training the lion in the yard. There wasn't any danger, and General Weiwu would warn him if there was any. Hearing General Weiwu's voice, Lin Yi quickly stopped his practice and returned to reality. Before General Weiwu could walk in, he quickly walked out of the villa and met General Weiwu. "What's wrong?" Lin Yi asked as he walked. It seemed that the yard wasn't as dangerous as he thought it would be. Meng Yaro and Yushu didn't seem to be hurt at all. "Shield Bro, there's a bumpkin here looking for trouble." Yushu pointed at Gauden. "Trouble?" Lin Yi paused and looked in the direction Yushu was pointing at. He froze. "Ah, boss." Gowden's eyes were wide open as he looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. He didn't expect to see Lin Yi here. Gowden? You're here. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Gowden probably didn't explain things clearly, and Yushu thought that he was looking for trouble. Boss, I finally found you. Gowden was beyond excited. He ran over and hugged Lin Yi. Boss, this is great. I finally found you. Lin Yi thought that Gowden came here with the address old Lin gave him. He didn't know that Gowden was actually here for the lion. Lin Yi thought so, but Yushu and Meng Yarrow looked at the scene in front of them curiously. They didn't know what was going on. What's going on? Meng Yarrow looked at Lin Yi and Gowden, confused. Did these two know each other? Oh, I knew it. This person will definitely surrender to Shield Bro. Sister Yao Yao, you see, I was right, right? I'm Prophet Shu. Yushu said proudly after some thought. Meng Yarrow didn't know what to say, but she had to admit that Yushu's sixth sense was pretty accurate. By the way, why are there so many geniuses here? The old man said that you left a few days ago. Lin Yi asked curiously. Lin Yi knew that Gowden wasn't weak and wouldn't make any mistakes, but he was late by so many days. He didn't know if he was in trouble or not. Boss, I got scammed when I got off the train. Gowden said bitterly, not only did I lose the money, but she also took the address. So I couldn't find you. Oh. Then how did you find me? You found that scammer? Lin Yi paused. He didn't think that Gowden would have this kind of encounter, getting scammed right after getting off the train, but then again, it wasn't that strange for Gowden to get scammed. After all, he hadn't seen the world before, and it was his first time going out. It was inevitable that he would get scammed. No, I came here to talk to the lion, but I didn't think I'd meet you here, boss. Gowden paused. Boss, you're not this dog's boss, are you? Dog. Lin Yi paused and looked at where Gowden was pointing. He smiled. I guess so, I see. Gowden was in a tough spot. If this dog was under someone else's protection, then Gowden would have killed him with a single punch if he tried to stick his neck out. But facing Lin Yi, his boss, he didn't dare do anything. Although he wanted to talk to Mrs. Yu, he couldn't do it to his boss. Right, you said you wanted to talk to the lion, what happened? Lin Yi remembered what Gowden said and asked. It's like this, Gowden didn't hide anything and told everything to Lin Yi. You're saying that you injured the two masters from House Go Huli? Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry after hearing Gowden's story. Before, Lin Yi and Forbert had studied the two masters from Xiao family. Although Lin Yi was confident that he could fight the mystic late-phase peak physical practitioner to a draw, he wasn't confident that he could defeat him. Gowden solving the problem just like that was out of Lin Yi's expectations. Yeah, I didn't want to beat him up, but that old man begged me to beat him up, saying that he was itching for a beating, so I had no choice but to beat him up. But I wasn't careful, and I broke his leg. Gowden scratched his head and said embarrassedly. He wasn't itching for a beating. His real name is Pai Yang Yang. Lin Yi really sympathized with Yang Yang. This guy got hit even when he was lying down, getting beaten up just because of his name. He was too unlucky. Lin Yi knew Pai Yang Yang's name from Forbert long ago, so he figured it out right away. Ha 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 ha. Yushu burst into laughter. Pai Yang Yang. I'm dying of laughter. You actually thought he was itching for a beating. Meng Yarrow, on the other hand, didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Pai Yang Yang, why did this guy have a name like that? His name is Pai Yang Yang. Gowden only reacted after hearing Lin Yi's explanation. He wasn't itching for a beating, was he? I'm so sorry for this. He didn't fight back. Lin Yi looked at Gowden, his face a little weird. Lin Yi believed that Gowden could break Pai Yang Yang's leg, but breaking Yang Yang's leg without any resistance at all? Why was this so weird? Did Yang Yang just let Gowden hit him instead of fighting back? No, he was protecting his body the whole time. Gowden said. You're really lucky. Lin Yi shook his head with a bitter smile, but he didn't feel guilty at all for injuring Pai Yang Yang. So be it, it had nothing to do with him anyway. Shield Bro, you know him? He's your follower. Yushu could tell from the conversation between Lin Yi and Gowden that they knew each other before, and they seemed to be quite close. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. We're from the same village, we grew up together, Lin Yi said. Let me introduce you guys. Ju Jiaming, his nickname is Gaodan. Gaodan, this is Meng Yao, my employer, and this is her best friend Yushu. Chapter 1194. A female liar. Oh, since you're Shield Bro's follower, then you're my follower too. Hello, I'm Shield Bro's small wife, you can call me sister-in-law. Yushu looked at Gaodan curiously, Lin Yi's best friend from the same village. Small wife dash. Sister-in-law? Gaodan's face was a little weird, but he didn't want to ask too much since they just met. Hello? Sorry about before, it's fine, we're a family now. Yushu waved her hand nonchalantly, but since you're Shield Bro's follower, then that lion counts as your follower too. You wouldn't be asking your follower for an explanation, would you? I won't. Gaodan shook his head after some thought. If the lion was his follower, then asking the lion's boss for an explanation would be the same as asking himself for an explanation, right? Who would ask for an explanation from themselves? It seemed like he'd have to let it go. Hello. Meng Yao nodded to Gaodan formally and reached out her hand. I'm Meng Yao. Don't listen to Lin Yi's bullshit. I may have been Lin Yi's employer, but we're friends now. I'd like to ask Lin Yi to stay here and protect me and Shu. She didn't know why, but she didn't want to define herself as Lin Yi's employer. She liked this identity at first, and used it to lecture and order Lin Yi around, but as time went on, she started to dislike it more and more. My hands are dirty. Gaodan blushed, embarrassed, not daring to shake Meng Yao's hand. Meng Yao didn't mind, either. She smiled faintly and took her hand back, avoiding the awkwardness. Lin Yi, since that Yuan's mother got bitten by the lion, why don't you go take a look at her? Don't delay the treatment. Meng Yao had heard Gaodan's explanation of what had happened. Since Lin Yi was a really good doctor, he had to have a way to cure Yuan's mother. Yeah, sure. Let's go and have a look. Lin Yi nodded and said. Boss. There's no need to rush. Gaodan was a little embarrassed. It wasn't that he wasn't worried about his mother's condition, but that Lin Yi had other things to do. He couldn't just let him do everything, could he? He hurriedly said, Boss, this is the medicinal liquid you asked me to bring. I have delivered it safely. You are in a hurry to save someone, aren't you? Let's treat the person who needs this medicine first. I lost your address when I went out, and I've already wasted a lot of time. With that, he took out a bottle of liquid and gave it to Lin Yi. Don't worry, there's no rush. After Lin Yi took the medicine, he pondered for a moment and said, They are all old injuries. It won't increase the pain if we take it easy for a while. Your friend's mother's injury should be very painful now, so it's better to go and see her first. Then. Thank you, boss. Gaodan said gratefully. You don't have to be so polite with me. Lin Yi patted Gaodan's shoulder with a smile. Wait here for me, I'll go get some medicine and go with you. All right. Gaodan nodded. Lin Yi went back to the villa to change, leaving Meng Yao, Yushu, and Gaodan alone. Why didn't you kill that old woman Go Huli too? Yushu looked at Gaodan regretfully. That old woman is so annoying. I can't just kill people like that. Gaodan scratched his head, thinking that his boss's small wife was really ruthless. She was his boss's woman after all. Man, they really got off easy. Yushu shook her head. I wanted to ask, are you really my boss's small wife? Gaodan looked at the pretty Yushu. He couldn't understand why such a pretty girl would be someone's small wife. Although the person was his wise boss, Lin Yi, it was still quite surprising. Yeah. Yushu nodded seriously. Don't you see that I'm living with Shield Bro? Why are you asking such a simple question? Shu, don't talk nonsense. Meng Yao interrupted helplessly, glaring at Yushu before turning to Gaodan. Don't listen to her bullshit. Lin Yi has a girlfriend. Oh. Gaodan didn't know who to believe. He thought about it and decided to ask Lin Yi about it. As they waited for Lin Yi, someone knocked on the door again. Meng Yao, Yushu, and Gaodan heard the knocking and turned their heads at the same time. It was a girl standing in front of the villa. Meng Yao and Yushu didn't know this girl, but Gaodan did. His eyes reddened when he saw who it was. As the saying goes, when enemies come face to face, their eyes will burn with hatred. It was Xiaoke. To tell the truth, Xiao Xiao didn't have the face to visit him, because she didn't have enough money to pay Gaodan yet. She wanted to wait until the situation calmed down, or when she received a mission from the Steel Sect, and then pay him back. But the orphanage was in trouble again. It was even worse than the previous misfortune that never came alone. Xiaoyan, the orphan who was helping out in the kitchen, accidentally dropped her knife when she was cutting vegetables, cutting her foot. She didn't think much of it at the time, just bandaging it casually. After all, this kind of injury wasn't much for the kids in the orphanage. But after a few days, the wound started to fester, and she started to get scared. She went to Xiaoke, and Xiaoke quickly applied some red medicine on her, but it wasn't very effective. The wound started to fester badly, and Xiaoyan started to have a fever. This scared Xiaoke. She was afraid that Xiaoyan would get tetanus, and the knife might have rust on it, causing the wound to get infected. Xiaoke panicked and wanted to take Xiaoyan to the hospital, but the orphanage didn't have a single cent left, and they'd been living frugally for the past few days. Where would they get the money to go to the hospital? Xiaoke didn't have a choice. She thought about the philanthropist she met that day at the train station, Gauden. This was a warm-hearted person. He had lent all his money to her. Xiaoke didn't think that it was appropriate to borrow money from him, but she really had nowhere to go. She had no choice but to go to the address Gauden gave her. Chapter 1195. Chapter 1193, Borrowing Money Again. Yeah. I came here just to find you. Xiaoke, naturally, didn't know that Gauden thought she was a liar. She didn't hear the hidden meaning in his words. Just to find me. Gauden thought that it was a coincidence, thinking that she was here to scam him, but he didn't expect her to say that she was here just to find him. And so, Gauden was confused. Yeah. Thank you for last time, but I've run into some trouble again. My friend's injured, and I need some medical fees. Can you lend me some more money? Don't worry, when I earn money, I'll pay you back double. Xiaoke patted her chest. What? You still want to borrow money? Gauden's eyes went wide. Do you think I'm an idiot, you liar? I've already fallen for it once, and you still want to borrow money from me? If I borrow money from you again, wouldn't I be the world's biggest idiot? I really don't have a choice. I know you're a good person. Can you lend me some more money? Xiaoke begged pitifully. Gauden, you said she was the one who scammed your money? It can't be that coincidental, can it? Yushu heard the conversation between Gauden and Xiaoke. These two knew each other, and this was the person who scammed Gauden's money. I'm not a liar, I'll really pay you back. I've always kept your address. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to find you. Xiaoke paused after hearing Yushu's words. Thinking about Gauden's attitude towards her, she understood that Gauden thought she was a liar. No wonder his tone was so bad when he saw her. She quickly explained. Address? Gauden blinked. You said you found this place based on the address I gave you? Gauden thought that it was a coincidence, but after Xiaoke's explanation, he realized that it wasn't. Even so, Gauden found it hard to believe Xiaoke's word. These few days with Yuan Yuan had taught him a lot about how to deal with people and how to deal with things, as well as the secrets of scammers. With the example of Yu Ren falling for it, Yuan had been teaching her father and Gauden about how to prevent scammers, and this had slowly raised Gauden's vigilance. He didn't trust people so easily. Yeah, isn't it here? Xiaoke took out the paper and waved it in front of Gauden. Then tell me, you have another friend who's injured and wants medical fees, right? Gauden asked. Yes. Xiaoke nodded. Liar. Do you think I'm a fool? Why is your family always sick? You can't just use the same excuse every time you scam people, can you? Gauden pointed at Xiaoke. Xiaoke didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but she didn't know how to explain it. But it seemed like she wouldn't be able to get a single cent from him now. Xiaoke sighed disappointedly. If you don't believe me, then forget it. I'll think of something else, but I'll definitely pay you back the money I owe you. Wait. You're running away already? I'll bring you to the police station. Gauden really couldn't do anything to a pretty girl like Xiaoke, so the only way to punish her was to bring her to the police station. That can't be done. Xiaoke jumped. What would Xiaoyan do if she was sent to the police station? How would the orphanage function without her? This was the most difficult time for the orphanage, and she couldn't be harmed. And so, Xiaoke subconsciously turned to run, but Gauden grabbed her arm. "Where do you think you're going?" With Gauden's strength, it was impossible for Xiaoke to break free. Xiaoke struggled a little, and realized that Gauden's hand was like an iron clamp on her. She begged, "Not now, I can't go to jail, I really can't. Why don't we wait for a while? I'll arrange everything, and if you're willing to send me to the police station, I'll go with you. If you leave, where would I go find you?" Gauden didn't believe her. "I can find you, I have your address," Xiaoke said carefully. "Do you think I'm an idiot?" Gauden couldn't help but get pissed. "You cunning bitch. I can't let you get away, you vixen." Lin Yi changed his clothes and left the villa with 2 bottles of medicine. He heard Gauden's loud voice as he walked out. He looked up and saw a familiar face. "Xiaoke." Gauden was grabbing her arm, not letting go. "What's going on? You guys know each other?" Lin Yi smiled as he walked over. Xiaoke didn't expect to see Lin Yi here, and it was as if she had seen her savior. She begged with a bitter face, "Lin Yi, help me, tell him he wants to send me to the police station." "Send you to the police station?" Lin Yi paused, but he remembered something. Gauden, the liar you were talking about before, it wouldn't be her, would it?" "That's her. Boss, you know her?" Gauden was a bit confused hearing Xiaoke call out Lin Yi's name meant that the two knew each other. Lin Yi frowned. With Lin Yi's understanding of Xiaoke, this might not be what Gauden was thinking. She might have been tricked by Xiaoke. Who was Xiaoke? She was a thief, and her specialty was stealing. She didn't need to lie at all. If she wanted Gauden's money, she could get it without a sound. Why would she need to lie? Plus, with Xiaoke's situation, it was normal for her to raise money when the orphanage kids were sick. Plus, even if Xiaoke really did trick Gauden, there was no reason for her to do it a second time. "Xiaoke, what are you doing here?" Xiaoke placed all her hopes on Lin Yi, and so she told Lin Yi the details of her visit. After hearing that, Lin Yi felt that Xiaoke wasn't lying. He had seen Xiaoke's orphanage before, so Xiaoke's words weren't far from the truth. The children in the orphanage were really injured. Chapter 1196. Brothers talk with that thought, Lin Yi said. "You said that the child in the orphanage seems to have tetanus. In that case, I'll accompany you to take a look and treat her." Xiaoke paused, not expecting Lin Yi to know how to treat illnesses. Are you a doctor? Didn't I treat you last time?" Lin Yi smiled. "Last time? Didn't you use your qi to treat me?" Xiaoke paused. "Isn't that different?" "I'm a doctor too," Lin Yi smiled. Actually, Lin Yi could just give Xiaoke some money and let her take Xiaoyan to the hospital herself. Tetanus wasn't a problem in the medical field, but Lin Yi wanted to see if Xiaoke was lying or not. Although Lin Yi trusted Xiaoke, she was still a thief, and Lin Yi wasn't that close to her. Lin Yi couldn't guarantee that what Xiaoke said was true. He did this to help Gauden verify if Xiaoke was a liar or not. Of course, if what Xiaoke said was true, then Lin Yi wouldn't mind helping her. He didn't know if he was touched by Xiaoke's persistence, or if Lin Yi had assimilated with the people around him as time went on. His indifferent personality was slowly loosening up. Lin Yi didn't purposely try to stop the change in his mentality. If he wanted to assimilate into life, he had to adapt to it. Then, "Thank you." Xiaoke didn't doubt Lin Yi's words after hearing Lin Yi's words. "You're welcome," Lin Yi smiled and turned to Gauden. "Let's go take a look." "Okay." Gauden, naturally, wanted to see if Xiaoke was a liar or not. If she really was, then it wouldn't be too late to teach her a lesson, but if she wasn't, then he'd really wronged her. That way, he'd feel better. At least his kindness had been repaid. "Shield bro, I want to go too." Yushu wanted to see what the orphanage looked like after listening to Xiaoke. "Then let's go together." Lin Yi didn't stop them. Meng Yarrow and Yushu weren't big spenders, but they didn't have much of a concept of money. It would be very educational for them to see the orphanage. "Gauden and I will drive Shu's beetle." "Xiaoke, you ride with Yao Yarrow and Shu?" Lin Yi and Gauden hadn't seen each other in a long time, and naturally, they had some things to talk about. He didn't want others to hear them. "Okay," Meng Yarrow nodded and went to drive the Audi S5 with Yushu and Xiaoke. The two cars drove out of the villa. Lin Yi was in front, and Meng Yaro was behind. That you Yuan Yuan, is she a girl you like? Lin Yi could tell from Gowden's tone that something was up. Now that he had the time, he asked, how do you know her? He. Gowden scratched his head, embarrassed. You saw through me, boss. I quite like her, and I want her to be my wife. Oh. Lin Yi didn't think that Gowden would be so serious about marrying Yuan Yuan. He couldn't help but be curious. How long have you been here? What happened? It's a long story. Gowden didn't hide anything from Lin Yi. He told the story from how he got scammed by Xiaoke at the train station to how he was hungry and went to Yuan Yuan's burger shop. She told him about the trouble, and so he went to fight Fighter Li. Ahem. Lin Yi coughed after hearing Gowden's story. This was too legendary, wasn't it? Gowden actually went to the underground arena and killed Fighter Li, the one who was in charge there. But Fighter Li was quite unlucky, running into Gowden. That arena didn't cause trouble for you? Lin Yi asked, surprised. No, I sent someone to send some money. Gowden shook his head. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't think there was anything wrong with that. He was afraid of being beaten up. As expected, evil people needed to be beaten up by evil people. Then, Mrs. You got bitten by a lion at Go Huli's house, and you came for revenge? Lin Yi asked. Yeah, I didn't think I'd meet you, boss. Gowden said excitedly. Then what does Yuan Yuan want? Does she like you? Lin Yi knew that this was the first time Gowden had feelings for a girl. He didn't want him to get hurt, so Yuan Yuan's attitude was very important. I think she likes me. Gowden thought about it and nodded. Plus, Yuan Yuan's parents treat me quite well. Yuan Yuan's father even wanted me to stay here and help him manage the hardware store. But, can you leave Star West Village? Will you be able to leave that spirit spring? You'll have to go back eventually. Lin Yi frowned and reminded, can Yuan Yuan go back with you? I don't know. Gowden was shocked after hearing Lin Yi's words. He didn't think that much before, but after Lin Yi said that, he remembered that his body was special. He couldn't leave the fountain, otherwise there'd be big problems. Yuan Yuan liked him, he was pretty sure. But asking a girl to go so far away, to give up the prosperity of a big city and go to a small village, it was too much for her. After seeing the prosperity of a big city, even Gowden didn't want to leave, let alone Yuan Yuan. And so, Gowden was in a dilemma. I'll find a chance to talk to her. This has to be made clear eventually. Lin Yi knew that some things might make Gowden lose Yuan Yuan, but he might get her love in return. But if he didn't say it out loud, it wouldn't work. You've used your strength twice already, haven't you? Without the nourishment of the fountain, the GU in your body will backfire. I'm afraid you won't be able to last long this time. Yeah. Gowden sighed. I'll find a time to talk to her. Lin Yi nodded silently. He couldn't say much about this. Everything depended on Yuan Yuan and Gowden's relationship. Thinking of Yuan Yuan, Lin Yi couldn't help but think of Tang Yun, this stubborn and persistent girl. When he was about to leave Songshan, she chose to leave with him. At that moment, Lin Yi was really touched. He swore to treat her well for the rest of his life. Thinking back to everything they had been through together, it was a bit ordinary, but it was blissful. Chapter 1197. Give me one. The car drove slowly to the orphanage, and Lin Yi parked the car in front of the orphanage. Looking at the broken walls, Lin Yi sighed. It wasn't easy for Xiaoke to support this orphanage all by herself. In the car, Xiaoke told Meng Yaro and Yushu many things about the orphanage. She told them about how pitiful the children there were, but seeing it with her own eyes wasn't as shocking as seeing it with her own eyes. If it weren't for Lin Yi's visit today, Meng Yaro and Yushu would never have known that there was an orphanage like this in Songshan. Meng Yaro and Yushu had donated quite a lot of money, but it was always to the remote mountainous areas. They'd never thought that there would be such a poor place in the prosperous city of Songshan. It's broken, isn't it? Xiaoke was a bit awkward. These two were obviously rich misses, and they wouldn't be used to a place like this. This is the orphanage. Are there a lot of children here? Do they live here every day? Meng Yaro couldn't help but ask. Yeah, this is the place. Xiaoke nodded, Children are actually very pitiful, they don't have parents to take care of them, and the dean and I can only do our best to take care of them. But the funds are limited, and their lives aren't that good. Xiaoke and the others had just arrived when Ken ran out from the red brick building. Xiaoke sis, you're finally back. Yang fainted. What? Xiaoke froze when she heard the words. Yang had a fever before they left, and her mental state wasn't that good. She panicked and went to borrow money from Gauden, but Yang fainted in such a short amount of time. Lin Yi and Gauden got off the car as well, and seeing the orphanage, Gauden believed Xiaoke's words. He felt bad for misunderstanding her before. He was a kind person, and if he knew that Xiaoke was giving money to these orphans, he wouldn't even think about asking her to pay the money back. He would have given it to her. Lin Yi also heard Xiao Ken's words at this moment and said to Xiao Ken, "Take me there." Xiao Ken knew Lin Yi, so he didn't hesitate at this moment. He nodded and led Lin Yi into the orphans' dormitory. The dormitory was a factory-like long cylindrical room with dozens of beds. Although the room was dilapidated and the beds were rusty, the bedding was neatly folded. On one of the beds, Lin Yi saw Xiao Yang. The little girl was only about 10 years old. It must have been hard for her to cook at such a young age. However, this was the situation of the orphanage. There was no spare money to hire workers. Most of the daily chores were done by Xiao Ken and the children. After all, Xiaoke needed to earn money, and the dean's health wasn't good. The girl's face was a little green, and her forehead was a little hot. Her muscles were spasming all over. Lin Yi checked the girl's tongue and pulse before letting out a breath of relief. It's confirmed that it's tetanus. I'll take care of the wound first, and then I'll write a prescription. Yao, can you and Shu go to the pharmacy and buy the medicine? Okay. Meng Yao nodded without hesitation. The scene in the orphanage really touched her. She didn't believe it before, but now that she was here and saw Xiao Yang on the sickbed, she knew how hard it was for the children here. If she could help them, she wouldn't hesitate. Meng Yao had even made up her mind to donate all her pocket money to this orphanage in the future. She wanted to help these children as much as she could. Lin Yi quickly took care of Xiao Yang's wound and applied Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine. He left the rest for Xiaoke. All right, there's no problem. Leave this half a bottle of medicine here. If you have any wounds in the future, apply it as soon as possible. If you apply it earlier, the wound won't worsen. One bottle costs 199, how can I afford it? Xiaoke sighed. The orphanage uses the cheapest red medicine. It's fine for small wounds, but this kind of knife wound is too serious. You can't not use it just because it's expensive. Wouldn't that cause a problem? Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Xiaoke's words. You steal so much money, and you can't even afford a bottle of medicine. The situation is so tight right now. How would I dare to steal money? I wouldn't go borrow money if I could. The orphanage needs too much money. Of course we have to be calculative, right? That medicine is so expensive, 199. It'd be better if it was 99. What a profiteer. Xiaoke complained. Lin Yi didn't know what to say. How did he become a profiteer? His medicine was 100 kwai cheaper than Dr. Kang's golden creation, wasn't it? However, he had heard about Lingshan's operation to crack down on criminals. It seemed like Xiaoke's skills weren't up to par yet. Meng Yao and Yu Shu, naturally, knew about Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine. They couldn't help but laugh at Xiaoke's words. Meng Yao said, "Yeah, what a profiteer. But Lin Yi knows the boss of the medicine factory. Maybe he can give you some?" Really? Xiaoke was overjoyed. If the orphanage could get some medicine, it'd be great. The children wouldn't have to worry about their wounds worsening anymore. This was a common medicine. Yeah, it's true. Lin Yi nodded. He looked at the miss oddly. The miss had a good heart. This made Lin Yi happy. If Meng Yao was like those girls who flaunted their wealth, then Lin Yi wouldn't have bothered with her. Lin Yi wrote down a prescription and gave it to Meng Yao and Yu Shu. Just get the medicine according to my prescription. Right, Shield Bro, can you give me a prescription too? Yu Shu asked as she remembered something after taking the prescription. You're not sick. Why should I give you a prescription? Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He looked at Yu Shu strangely. This medicine can't be taken randomly. Taking too much won't do you any good. I'm not treating a disease. I'm thinking, is there a prescription that can make people grow taller? Yushu blinked. I want to grow taller. Chapter 1198. A big deal. Xiao Xiao is a small wife, and so am I. But she's a little taller than me. I can't accept it, Yushu said. And both Yun Yun sis and Yarrow Yarrow sis are taller than me. That. We'll talk about it later. Lin Yi was a little embarrassed by Yushu's request. Go get the medicine first. Meng Yarrow had wanted to ask if there were any breast enlargement recipes, but she couldn't bring herself to do so. She couldn't bring herself to ask about it no matter how much she thought about it. Still, she could ask Yushu to be thick-skinned and ask her later. The girl could say anything. Yen, it's decided. With that thought, Meng Yarrow grabbed Yushu's hand and went to get the medicine, thinking about how she should tell her about it. That's it? Thank you so much. Xiaoke saw that Lin Yi was a doctor, and was very excited. She grabbed Lin Yi's hand and swung it back and forth. I'll go find you if the kids in the orphanage get sick again, okay? Lin Yi was speechless. It's just an emergency. Go to the hospital if there's anything. Come find me if the hospital can't solve it. Lin Yi didn't want to set a precedent. If he came to the orphanage to treat every single child with a fever or a cold, he wouldn't be able to do anything else. I see. Okay. Xiaoke was a little disappointed, but she knew that she and Lin Yi were just acquaintances. She couldn't force Lin Yi, but Lin Yi promised her that she could go find him if the hospital couldn't cure the illness. This made Xiaoke very happy. Sometimes, a lot of newborns were abandoned by their parents because of congenital diseases, and many of these diseases couldn't be cured. Even if they were cured, it would cost a lot of money, and there was no guarantee that they could be cured. The orphanage adopted a lot of babies like this, and this was why Xiaoke didn't have any money left after all these years of stealing. Other than the orphanage's expenses, some of the money was used to treat the babies. She knew that she was throwing money at it, but even if there was a sliver of hope, she didn't want to give up on the baby. They were pitiful and innocent. Xiaoke thought that no matter how tiring it was, she had to spend money to treat them. On the other hand, Lin Yi's words brought hope to Xiaoke. Thinking about this, Xiaoke wasn't disappointed anymore. Instead, she said happily, then it's a deal? Sure. Lin Yi nodded and changed the topic. If you don't steal money now, how will the orphanage survive? Let's just hold on for one day at a time. Xiaoke shrugged. I put up a mission on the thief's door, and as long as someone sees it, they'll be able to eat for a year. Steal sect. Big deal. Lin Yi frowned. Lin Yi had heard a little about the Steel sect, so he said, you want to do big business with your mediocre skills? Don't lose your life over this. I'll be careful. Xiaoke hemphed. How am I mediocre? My Qinggong is one of the best in the thief's door. Our Flying Sparrow sect is very famous in the thief's door. Lin Yi nodded and didn't say anything else. He could help her now, but he couldn't help her forever. She had to carry the burden herself in the future. Gaoden understood the truth naturally. He knew that Xiaoke wasn't trying to scam his money. He felt a little embarrassed and touched his hair. Xiaoke, I was wrong about you. You're not a scammer. Haha. Xiaoke didn't care about what happened anymore after seeing how generous Gaoden was. Don't worry, when I get rich, I'll pay you back. It's okay, I'll donate the money to the orphanage. Plus, you're my boss's friend. Gaoden didn't have the face to ask for more money. Meng Yarrow and Yushu left the orphanage, and Meng Yarrow got in the car. She looked back at the ruined orphanage, a little emotional. Shoo, the kids here are really pitiful, but at least they have a big sister who cares about them. Xiaoke, it really isn't easy. Yeah, Yarrow Yarrow sis. I've decided that I'll organize a fundraiser when I get back to school, get the students to donate some money to the orphanage. Those who don't have any money can donate used textbooks or something. Yushu said with a sigh. Oh. Meng Yarrow, on the other hand, was taken aback. She didn't think that Yushu would say something unexpected at a critical moment even though she looked like a lunatic. Meng Yarrow only wanted to donate some of her pocket money to the orphanage, but she never thought about organizing a donation event. How could an individual's strength compare to the strength of a group? She really didn't expect Shu to have a plan already. That's a good idea. I'll discuss it with my dad when we get back and let him talk to the principal about it. Meng Yaro nodded in agreement. That's great. I heard that idiot Xie Yufeng is pretty rich. Xiao Xiao cheated him out of a few 100,000. Let's get him to donate more too. Yushu's first target was Xie Yufeng. Meng Yaro couldn't help but smile. Yushu was back to her playful self. Right, you said you wanted a prescription for getting taller? Meng Yaro pretended to ask casually as she drove. Yeah, Yaro, look at me, I'm so perfect from head to toe, just a little bit more and I'll become a perfect Shu. Yushu said regretfully. Perfect Shu? I think you're more like a cow Shu. Meng Yaro purposely brought the topic to Yushu's chest. Oh, what's wrong? Are you jealous of me? Yushu asked. So what if I am? Meng Yaro rolled her eyes. This was the first time she admitted that she was jealous. Yes, she acted like she didn't care before, but who wouldn't be jealous? Hee, I know, Yaro. Do you want me to ask Shield Bro if there's a prescription for breast enlargement? You're too shy to ask, so you want me to go? Yushu looked at Meng Yao's face and guessed what she was thinking. I didn't. Meng Yao's face reddened as Yushu exposed her. Then I won't ask. Years of sisterhood made Yushu confident. Then I'll just ask casually. I don't have anything to do anyways, I might as well. Meng Yaro acted like she didn't care. Okay, I promise I'll complete the mission. Yushu giggled. When I get taller and your chest gets bigger, we'll be invincible. We'll be able to beat Tang Yun Sis and Xiao Xiao. Chapter 1199. Misunderstood false information. But no matter what, the two came to an agreement. They went to the pharmacy, and Meng Yaro bought a few bottles of Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine. Although Lin Yi could ask Fatty Lai to give some to the orphanage, it was better to buy 2 as a backup. Back at the orphanage, Lin Yi told Xiaoke about the things to take note of when brewing the medicine before leaving. Yang's injury was a piece of cake to Lin Yi, and it wasn't a big deal. Lin Yi's second stop was to find Yuan with a Gaodan. Today was destined to be a busy day, and with the medicine Gaodan brought, Lin Yi couldn't wait to treat Tang Juqing and Fen. It was a good chance to introduce his follower, Kang Xiaobo, to a Gaodan. Fatty Lai, too, had officially received Lin Yi's approval. But Meng Yaro and Yushu didn't need to go to Yuan's place, so Lin Yi let them return to the villa first. Family Xiao sent the 2 pie masters to the hospital, and after returning to the villa, they started plotting. Brother, the 2 masters from House Pi are in the hospital. We have to keep this a secret. We can't let our partners know about this, or else they'll re-evaluate our strength, Xiaoji said worriedly. Of course we have to keep it a secret, but big bro, you have to know that there's no such thing as an impenetrable wall in this world. We can't hide this forever, people will find out eventually. Xiao Ben sighed. But the good thing is that we're not as strong as them. Although the 2 pie masters aren't a match for the hero, they're still a threat to the smaller houses. That's true. But I think we should use the time when the hero is looking for Lin Yi to cause trouble for House Chu. Otherwise, when Lin Yi recovers and finds out that 2 of our House Pie masters are in the hospital, we won't be able to get what we want. Xiaoji said, I think we need to hurry. Ian, that makes sense. How about this, sister-in-law, you go to the Chu family's villa to investigate and see what's going on over there. Did the hero injure Lin Yi? Xiao Ben nodded and instructed. Go. Go Huli was a little scared. She was afraid that she would meet the hero again. Yes, only you can go. You can use the excuse of looking at the lion to find out more about the situation. Xiao Ben said, if we go, we're not familiar with the 2 girls of the Chu family, so we can't ask them some questions. All right. Go Huli thought about it and clenched her teeth. She was willing to take the risk to attack House Chu. Go Huli left the Xiao family and took a deep breath. She calmed herself down and drove the Ferrari back to the Chu family's villa. Meng Yaro and Yushu got home and saw the broken iron fence in front of the villa. They didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This guy was Lin Yi's follower, so naturally, they couldn't ask him to pay for it. They could only hire someone to fix it themselves. When they got home, the lion and General Weiwu were nowhere to be seen. Yushu was a little confused. She walked around the villa and saw the lion sleeping in the warehouse. Fuck. You stupid lion, your master isn't home and you're lazing around here? Do you want to die? Yushu was very pissed off. What was wrong with this lion? How long had it been since she left? How long had it been since she left? Woof, woof. General Weiwu barked helplessly. Shu, forget it. This is the lion's first day of training, and you've been torturing it for the whole morning. It doesn't have General Weiwu's stamina. It's going to rest now that it's tired. Meng Yaro walked over and roughly understood what General Weiwu was trying to say. General Weiwu was a golden class dog, but the lion wasn't. Lin Yi didn't have any intentions of modifying it at the moment, evidently not trusting the lion's loyalty. It was impossible for a lion without any strength to be like General Weiwu. Oh. Yushu thought about it and realized that it was the case. She didn't care anymore. All right, go to sleep then. We'll continue training tomorrow. The two were discussing the lion when Go Huli's voice came from the door. Is anyone home? Why's that old woman here again? Yushu rolled her eyes when she heard Go Huli's voice. She walked to the front of the villa unhappily. After Go Huli arrived at House Chu's villa, she first observed the situation outside. She realized that the iron fence on the villa's door was broken, just like her house Xiao's villa. Go Huli was instantly delighted. It seemed that the hero had found this place and had a conflict with House Chu's people. If there wasn't a conflict, House Chu would have let him in peacefully, and they wouldn't have broken the iron fence. It seemed like the conflict had been going on for a while, but there weren't any sounds of fighting. It should be over already. Go Huli mustered up her courage and called out. Yushu walked to the front yard and frowned when she saw Go Huli standing at the door. What are you doing here again? Why is there no end to this old hag? Do you want to show me how to pull your head off? Go Huli heard Yushu's sarcasm and wanted to yell at her, but she remembered that she was here on a mission and couldn't make things awkward with Yushu. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to get any information out of Yushu. With that thought, Go Huli held back her anger and smiled embarrassedly. How can this person live after his head is pulled off? Oh, then why are you here if he can't live? Yushu was pissed when she saw a lazy lion, and now Go Huli was here. How could she be happy? Where's the lion? Go Huli asked after some hesitation. Dead. Yushu didn't like lions in the first place, so she answered casually when Go Huli asked. Dead. Go Huli clicked her tongue in satisfaction. You ungrateful lion slave, it's better if you're dead. But she didn't show it on her face. Oh, then where's Lin Yi? He went to the hospital. What's the matter? Meng Yaro walked over and said impatiently. She had a bad impression of Go Huli and didn't want her to waste time at the door. Meng Yaro still needed Forbert to come back and fix the door. Chapter 1200. Come to the door again. Meng Yao looked at Huli's back, confused. She didn't know why Huli came here all of a sudden. Huli didn't know that Meng Yaro was talking about going to the hospital to treat Yuanyuan's mother. Huli thought that Lin Yi was in the hospital because of his own injuries. Huli quickly drove back to the Xiao family and excitedly reported, Good news, good news. Huli, what's wrong? What's the good news? Xiao Ji looked at Huli's face and guessed what was going on. Master has already caused a ruckus in House Chu. Lion was killed and Lin Yi is in the hospital. Chu Lil Girl and Chen Lil Girl look like they just ate gunpowder. Go Huli said happily. Is that so? If that's the case, then the heavens are helping our Xiao family. Xiao Ji laughed. Brother, let's find some people to deal with Pengzhan Industries. Yes, not bad. Let's go to Pengzhan Industries now and talk to him. If he knows what's good for him, he'll give us some benefits. If he doesn't, we'll suppress Pengzhan Industries in the stock market. We have a lot of alliances now anyway, and we won't need to invest any money. I'm sure a lot of people will want to split Pengzhan Industries with us. Xiao Ben thought about it and said. In fact, ever since the masters from House Pai entered the Xiao family, more and more smaller families came to flatter them. Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben's ego had started to inflate. They enjoyed the feeling of being on top of the world. Every time they thought about the humiliation they suffered in House Chu, they would grit their teeth, wanting to avenge themselves, but there was never a suitable opportunity. Now that the opportunity was here, naturally, they wouldn't let it go. Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben didn't linger and left for Pengzhan Industries. This matter couldn't be delayed, they had to be decisive. Pengzhan wasn't expecting Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben to come visit at this time. He knew about the Xiao family's resurgence, and he was afraid that the Xiao family would come for revenge at first. But after a while, he was relieved to see that everything was fine. House Pai probably wouldn't make an enemy out of Lin Yi for no reason. It wouldn't benefit House Pai, so the Xiao family brothers didn't make a move. Mr. Xiao, may I know what brings you here? The enmity between Pengzhan and the Xiao family was irresolved. They were already enemies, and so Pengzhan wouldn't mince his words. Judging from the looks on Xiao Ben and Xiao Ji's faces today, he knew that these two didn't have good intentions. Pengzhan, thanks to you, our Xiao family was almost finished. Xiao Ji said coldly as he sat down on the sofa in Pengzhan's office. Mr. Xiao, if it weren't for the greed of your Xiao family, things wouldn't have turned out this way. Pengzhan wasn't angered. He was a man of manners, after all. He only smiled faintly at Xiao Ji's rudeness. But the heavens have blessed our Xiao family. Our Xiao family is not finished, we're even getting better. What do you think? Pengzhan, are you jealous? Jealous? Wahahaha. Xiao Ji laughed loudly. Just say what you want. Pengzhan knew that the Xiao family brothers didn't come here to show off. They probably had something to discuss. Pengzhan, don't think that I'm letting you off the hook just because I didn't come looking for you. I didn't come looking for you because I didn't have the time. Let me tell you, the enmity between our families is huge. Xiao Ji slammed the coffee table in front of him. Pengzhan frowned. He didn't think that the Xiao family brothers would come looking for him again after so long, and from the looks of it, they were definitely here for trouble. But what kind of courage was it that made the Xiao family act this way? Could they be this arrogant with just two masters from House Pai supporting them? But why didn't they come looking for trouble when the masters from House Pai just arrived? Why did they wait so long? Mr. Xiao, you've probably forgotten the pain of the past. It's only been a short time, and you've already forgotten the lesson from last time? Pengzhan had thought things through after what happened last time. There were times when it was time to be tough, and he'd just give it his all. Even Lin Yi was willing to give up everything for House Chu, so what was there for Pengzhan to do? Pengzhan, I'm not afraid to tell you that we're here for what happened last time. Xiao Ji smiled coldly. Pengzhan, don't say that I didn't give you a way out. You have two choices. One is to hand over a portion of your business to us, the Xiao family, and the other is to wait for us Xiao family and our partners to attack your stock market. Pengzhan frowned. There was no doubt that Xiao Ji was the same as last time. He was asking for too much. But Xiao Ji wouldn't do something as crazy as this unless he had something to rely on. He wouldn't just come here and say something stupid like this. His business wasn't something he could just give away just because he wanted it. And so Pengzhan only smiled faintly. Mr. Xiao, you seem very confident. Is it because of the two masters from House Pai? But don't forget that the masters from House Pai were beaten away by Lin Yi before. Lin Yi? Ha 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 ha. So you're still counting on Lin Yi? Xiao Ji laughed mockingly at Pengzhan. I'm not afraid to tell you that the person you're counting on is now hospitalized. He's been beaten to the hospital by Master. Hospitalized? Pengzhan paused. What? You don't believe me? You can give your backer Lin Yi a call if you don't believe me, Xiao Ji said nonchalantly. Pengzhan's face changed. He finally understood why the Xiao family would suddenly come to his doorstep again. They knew that Lin Yi was injured. Perhaps it was the same as last time. They wanted to take advantage of the situation. But Lin Yi was perfectly fine. How could he be injured? He was even beaten up by some hero and hospitalized. Then why would Master hit him? If it was a master from House Pai, then Pengzhan would still believe it. But where did this master come from? But, even though Pengzhan was doubtful, he still picked up his phone and called Lin Yi. He'd be able to get the most accurate information from Lin Yi. Lin Yi, where are you? Pengzhan asked. Although he kept his tone normal, he couldn't help but feel anxious in his heart. I'm at the hospital, Lin Yi said. What's wrong? Uncle Chu, why are you suddenly asking this question? Chapter 1201. Chapter 1199, Xiao Ben's prediction. Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben looked at each other after seeing Peng Zhan's expression and smiled. It seemed that Go Huli's information was correct. Lin Yi was in the hospital. What's wrong, Uncle Chu? Lin Yi paused after hearing Peng Zhan's exclamation. Did something happen to Yao Yao? Yao Yao? Peng Zhan calmed himself down. He was worried about Meng Yao, but now that he thought about it, why would he care about Meng Yao if something really happened to Lin Yi? He didn't sound like he was injured at all. Peng Zhan quickly asked, Yi, what are you doing in the hospital? Oh, my friend's mother is injured, I'm taking a look at her. Lin Yi said, Uncle Chu, what happened? It's fine, I got it. Peng Zhan let out a breath of relief after hearing Lin Yi's words. If Lin Yi was fine, it meant that the Xiao family's information was wrong. But since they knew that Lin Yi was in the hospital, they still had their eyes and ears. How is it? I'm not wrong, am I? Lin Yi is in the hospital now, right? Xiao Ji said proudly. Haha, he's in the hospital, but he's there to treat someone. He's not injured. Peng Zhan smiled faintly, feeling more confident now. Mr. Xiao's information is wrong, right? Act, continue acting. Xiao Ji looked at Peng Zhan mockingly. Peng Zhan, the panic on your face when you were on the phone already sold you out. Stop pretending. Songshan is only this big, how can you hide the news? Peng Zhan said mockingly. Say what you want, Mr. Xiao. If you insist, then there's nothing I can do. Peng Zhan shrugged. I'm busy, Mr. Xiao, please do as you please. Peng Zhan, don't be ungrateful. Xiao Ji was furious after hearing Peng Zhan's words. Don't fucking refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. Mr. Xiao, feel free to use whatever tricks you have. If it's purely a commercial attack, then do as you please. Peng Zhan smiled. If you want to keep threatening me, then so be it. I'm going to work now, you can continue. Peng Zhan. Just you wait. I'll make you kneel on the ground and beg for mercy. Xiao Ji was infuriated. Peng Zhan was still so stubborn even at a time like this. Big brother, since Mr. Chu is so stubborn, there's nothing we can do. Xiao Ben said faintly, but the public security has not been very good recently. I heard that there have been a series of disappearances. Lin Yi is injured again, please don't let your daughter get lost. Xiao Ben, what do you mean? Peng Zhan's eyebrows furrowed. Despite his good manners, he couldn't help but get angry. Xiao Ben, are you forcing me? Don't think that I, Peng Zhan, am afraid of you just because you have two masters from House Pai in your Xiao family. Peng Zhan's words were spoken with confidence. When the masters from House Pai came to the Xiao family, Peng Zhan had discussed this with Forbert. When Peng Zhan heard that Forbert had recovered to the peak of the late phase of the golden class, he was relieved. Forbert said that he was a spiritual master now, and could fight evenly with a physical master who was one level higher than him. Even if that didn't work out, there was General Weiwu, a dog who was at the peak of the late phase of the golden class. 2 against 1, they would be able to kill that early phase mystic no matter what. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was at the middle phase of the mystic class. He could barely fight a physical master who was at the peak of the late phase of the mystic class. If they were to fight an all-out battle, it was hard to say who would win. So now that Peng Zhan knew that Lin Yi was fine, he wasn't afraid of the Xiao family. Good, very good. Peng Zhan, we'll see. Xiao Ben nodded and didn't say anything else. He pulled his brother Xiao Ji out of Peng Zhan's office. He believed that Lin Yi was injured, and Peng Zhan's panic couldn't escape Xiao Ben's eyes. But why did Peng Zhan have such confidence after that? What did Lin Yi say to him after that? Xiao Ben's IQ was higher than Xiao Ji's, so he wondered if he had overlooked something. After exiting Peng Zhan Industries, Xiao Ji was still cursing. Brother, don't you think this Peng Zhan doesn't know what's good for him? Does he really think that with Lin Yi, he can save him? Bro, there's something strange about this. Xiao Ben said after a sigh. Peng Zhan's panic when he heard that Lin Yi was in the hospital wasn't fake, but he was full of confidence after that. What's the reason? Yeah, brother, what you're saying makes sense. Is there something going on here? Xiao Ji calmed down and felt that Xiao Ben's words made sense. He was a rough guy, but he listened to Xiao Ben. Let me think. Xiao Ben got into the car and closed his eyes, putting his hands on his temples. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Xiaoji didn't want to disturb him, so he sat beside Xiao Ben. Let's go. Head, are we going home or to the hospital? The driver didn't know where to go, so he asked. Hospital. Right, the hospital. Xiao Ben cried out as he opened his eyes. Master, are we going to the hospital? The driver was startled by Xiao Ben's cry as he asked carefully. No, let's go home. Xiao Ben said to the driver before turning to Xiao Ji. Brother, I've thought it through. Oh. Xiao Ji quickly asked, Brother, what's going on? Isn't Lin Yi in the hospital now? Elder Pai and Mr. Pai are there as well. Do you think Lin Yi would run into them? Xiao Ben analyzed, word by word. If Lin Yi knew that Elder Pai and Mr. Pai were injured as well, wouldn't he have nothing to fear? Peng Zhan wouldn't have to worry, either, since our masters are in the hospital as well. That's possible. After Xiao Ji heard Xiao Ben's words, he nodded in agreement. That should be it. But we booked a private room, so how did Lin Yi see it? I don't know about that, but it's just a guess. Xiao Ben said, there's another possibility Lin Yi's injuries can recover very quickly, so even if Peng Zhan knew that Lin Yi was injured, he wouldn't be afraid of us. Oh. Recover very quickly? Xiao Ji pondered. Chapter 1202. The difference in injuries, what does that mean? Xiao Ji paused. Could it be that House Chu wasn't pretending to be weak last time? That Lin Yi pretended to be injured to confuse us? That's not it. Xiao Ben waved his hand. What you said is possible, but it's not very likely. Peng Zhan is a busy man, and if Lin Yi was fine a long time ago, why would Peng Zhan bother with us? Could it be that he has nothing better to do? Plus, what benefits does he get from doing this? He doesn't get anything. There's not much of a difference between Lin Yi stepping out earlier and later. That makes sense. But, Xiao Ji nodded, so you're saying that Lin Yi's recovery ability is very strong? Yes, so I'm guessing that Lin Yi hinted to Peng Zhan that although he's injured, he'll recover soon, so that's why Peng Zhan isn't afraid. Xiao Ben agreed. This is the only possibility that boosts Peng Zhan's confidence. Then what should we do now? Xiao Ji said, now that the two masters from House Pai are hospitalized, there's nothing we can threaten Peng Zhan with. I'll discuss with my business partners first, and see if we can control and suppress Peng Zhan Industries through the stock price. As long as we earn some profits for House Pai, I believe that the two masters from House Pai will stand up for us after they recover. Xiao Ben said, of course, we have to make use of House Pai's profit. Yes, that's true. Let's do that then. Xiao Ji relaxed after hearing that. In the hospital, Lin Yi saw Yu Yuanyuan, a pretty girl. Although she couldn't compare to Tang Yun and the Miss, she was still a pretty girl. If she really married Gauden, it would be Gauden's fortune. It could be seen that Yu Yuanyuan was the type of girl who knew her place, giving off a quiet and gentle feeling. Yuanyuan, this is my boss. You can call him boss too. Gauden brought Lin Yi to Mrs. Yu's room and introduced Lin Yi to Yuanyuan. Hello, boss. Yuanyuan nodded politely to Lin Yi, but looking at Lin Yi's clothes, he didn't look like a country bumpkin at all. This was Gauden's boss. Lin Yi smiled. Hello, shall we take a look at your mother's injuries first? Okay. Yuanyuan quickly moved aside and let Lin Yi go to her mother's bed. Mrs. Yu looked at Lin Yi in shock. Although she heard from Gauden that his boss was a miracle doctor and could cure her leg, she still couldn't believe it when she saw how young Lin Yi was. Do you have an X-ray? Let me take a look first. Lin Yi took a look at Mama Yu's leg. It was covered in plaster, and nothing could be seen from the outside. Hence, he turned to ask Yuanyuan. Yes. Yuanyuan nodded. The X-ray is with Dad. He went out to buy food. I'll call him now. Don't worry, he should be back soon. Lin Yi waved his hand and asked Mrs. Yu, Auntie, how do you feel now? Does it still hurt? It hurts. It's been hurting for a long time. The doctor said that the bone was crushed. How can it not hurt? Mrs. Yu sighed. Young man, if it's difficult for you, don't bother. Just try your best. I've gotten over it these few days. Haha, let's take a look at the X-ray later. Lin Yi smiled. Auntie, don't worry. Since you're Gauden's elder, you might even be his mother-in-law in the future. No matter how hard it is, I'll find a way to help you stand up. Our hometown is quite far away. How are you going to get there if your leg isn't working? We even have a mountain there. It's fun. You can ask Gowden to catch some wild animals for you. Lin Yi pointed out the relationship between Gowden and Yu Yuanyuan as they chatted. He also pointed out where Gowden's hometown was. This was also a warning to Yu Yuanyuan. Although Gowden was simple, he wasn't stupid. After hearing Lin Yi's words, he looked at Lin Yi gratefully. He knew that Lin Yi was helping him. Then I'll have to trouble you. Mrs. Yu heard Lin Yi's words and heaved a sigh of relief. If Lin Yi could say that, he must have some confidence. Mrs. Yu understood Gowden's personality. He wasn't someone who talked big. His boss should be a righteous person as well. Otherwise, Gowden wouldn't call him boss. Yu Yuanyuan blushed after hearing Lin Yi's words. Although she and Gowden had feelings for each other, they didn't say it out loud. Now that Lin Yi said it, it made Yu Yuanyuan shy. She lowered her head, not daring to look at Gowden. However, Yu Yuanyuan was happy that her mother didn't refute Lin Yi's words. This meant that her mother agreed to her being with Gowden. After a while, Yu Ren came in with a few lunchboxes. He paused when he saw Lin Yi in the room. Uncle Yu, this is my boss, Lin Yi. He's here to treat Auntie. Gowden introduced Lin Yi to Yu Ren. Uncle Yu, where's the X-ray? Boss wants to see it. Hello. Yu Ren quickly nodded to Lin Yi and said politely, I'll go get it now, please wait for a moment. Yu Ren didn't doubt Lin Yi's young age. Gowden was a steady person. He wouldn't do anything unreliable. Although he was surprised how he managed to contact Lin Yi, it wasn't the time to ask. Yu Ren found the X-ray and gave it to Lin Yi. Lin Yi took it out and looked at it carefully. The leg bone was completely shattered. This meant that the lion had bitten off her entire leg. Although it was reattached, it would still be missing a piece in the future. Even if it recovered, she would be limping. If it didn't recover well, it would be hard for her to stand up. Lin Yi wanted to use medicine and acupuncture to treat it, but it seemed like it wouldn't work. After all, a piece of bone was missing. Acupuncture and medicine wouldn't be able to fix it. The good thing was that she was just injured not long ago. It hadn't fully healed yet. So, Lin Yi could use energy to heal Mrs. Yu's injury. If he waited until Mrs. Yu's injury was fully healed, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to save her even if he used his pure energy. After all, pure energy couldn't do anything to a healed wound. It was a qualitative change. It was different from a fresh wound. Chapter 1203. Healed. It can be healed, but I need to break the plaster on Auntie's leg. Is that okay? Lin Yi looked at Mrs. Yu and asked. That? Of course. Mrs. Yu hesitated and nodded. Although she didn't know how Lin Yi was going to heal her, she knew that Lin Yi wouldn't harm her, so she agreed. Yuanyuan was a little nervous. After all, Lin Yi's method was a little weird. He needed to break the plaster. Didn't a broken bone need a plaster? Why would he break it? It's fine. Boss knows what he's doing. If he wasn't confident, he wouldn't do this. Gowden looked at Yuanyuan and comforted her. The plaster's hardness was nothing to Lin Yi. He could break it with his bare hands. Soon, half of the plaster on Mrs. Yu's leg was removed by Lin Yi. At this time, the doctor walked in and saw Lin Yi breaking the plaster on Mrs. Yu's leg. He was shocked. You, what are you doing? Healing. My name is Lin Yi, I'm Guan Shuamin's disciple. Dean Qin knows me. You can give him a call. Lin Yi said calmly. With Xiao Fen's incident as an example, Lin Yi didn't wait for the doctor to say anything and explained to him directly. As expected, the doctor's expression changed when he heard that Lin Yi was Guan Shuamin's disciple. Although he didn't know what Lin Yi was doing, Guan Shuamin was a famous professor. Recently, Miracle Dr. Guan's name was very famous. The doctor didn't say anything more. He walked to the door and called Dean Qin. After confirming Lin Yi's identity, he closed the door and didn't disturb Lin Yi anymore. Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine was a miracle medicine for external injuries, so the doctor believed that Guan Shuamin's disciple must have a deep understanding of external injuries as well. He wasn't worried about leaving this to Lin Yi. Although he also wanted to go in and see what was going on, Lin Yi did not ask him to stay. It was not good for him to secretly learn anything. Moreover, he was not a Chinese medicine practitioner, so he could not learn anything even if he went to see it. Yu Ren, Mrs. Yu, and Yuan were all relieved when they saw the doctor leave after Lin Yi told them a name. It seemed like Gowden's boss was indeed different. After Lin Yi broke the plaster, he removed all the gauze on Mother Yu's leg. Mother Yu grimaced in pain, but she endured the pain and didn't make a sound. After all, she was afraid that it would affect Lin Yi and distract him. It hurts a little, right? Don't worry, I'll be fine in a while, and I'll be able to walk. Lin Yi smiled and said. Mother Yu heard the first half of Lin Yi's sentence and didn't think much of it, but when she heard the second half, her eyes widened in shock. Able to walk in a while? How was that possible? Even a miracle doctor couldn't cure her injury in a short time, right? After Lin Yi said this, he inserted a few needles into Mother Yu's injury and placed both of his hands on her leg, channeling the art of dragon mastery. At this moment, Lin Yi didn't enter his sleeping state. After all, healing Mother Yu's injury didn't require much pure energy. Even if he wanted to replenish it, he could replenish it at night. There was no need to sleep now. Mother Yu looked at Lin Yi strangely. Suddenly, she felt a warm current coming from her leg. It was extremely comfortable, and the injury from before wasn't as painful anymore. Mother Yu raised her head in surprise. It seems to be working. Haha, I'll use acupuncture and pure energy to heal your injury. There's no pain, Lin Yi said. Pure energy? Mother Yu and Yu Ren exclaimed at the same time. What was pure energy? They had heard about it on TV and in wuxia novels, but did it exist in real life? Boss is a martial arts master, Gowden explained. But after hearing Gowden's explanation, Mother Yu, Yu Ren, and Yuan all thought of Gowden's shocking feat. Gowden could kill fighter Li with one punch, so his martial arts were obviously not weak. Gowden's boss must be even stronger. If he wasn't a martial arts master, then what was he? Zhu Jiaming, you're a martial arts master too, right? Yuan looked at Gowden and asked with admiration. Me? I don't count, I'm just a little stronger, I'm not a martial arts master. Gowden was telling the truth. The difference between him and Lin Yi was quite big. But in my eyes, you're a big hero. Yuan said softly, a little embarrassed. Ah, hee. Gowden scratched his head and smiled honestly. It seemed like the relationship between the two had some substantial progress after what his boss said. It's done. Lin Yi put away the needles on Mother Yu's leg and stood up, saying casually, it's done. Mother Yu froze. Yu Ren, Yuan, and even Gowden froze. They didn't think that in such a short amount of time, Lin Yi would say that it was done. Even Gowden was shocked. Although old Lin was a famous doctor in the surrounding villages, it would take at least 10 days to half a month to heal a leg injury. But someone like Lin Yi, healing it in half an hour, that was unheard of. Auntie, let's take a walk. You've been lying down for so many days, you should be tired of it, right? Lin Yi said with a smile. Mother Yu wanted to say something, but she glanced at her leg. There was no wound at all. It was as clean as before, not even a scar was left. Mother Yu felt that her leg really didn't hurt anymore. It didn't hurt at all. Then, Mima Yu was so agitated that she couldn't speak. My leg, Mom, what happened to your leg? Yuan quickly walked over, but when she saw her mother's leg, she gasped and covered her mouth in disbelief. Yu Ren and Gowden came over too. When they saw that there was no wound at all, they widened their eyes in shock. Mother Yu saw the shocking change in her leg and believed it a little. She gritted her teeth and sat up from the bed, getting down. Chapter 1204. Emotional Kang Xiaobo. I'm really healed. Yuan, Laro Yu, take a look. Is my leg really healed? Mrs. Yu paced around the house in disbelief, fearing that she was dreaming. Auntie, you're really fine. Gowden was the happiest at the moment. Lin Yi cured Mrs. Yu's injury. It made him feel proud. Auntie, you can leave now. I still have something to do, I'll leave first. Lin Yi was worried about Mr. Tang and Fen's condition. He prepared to treat them. This. You can't leave, you cured my illness, we need to thank you. Old Yu and I will cook tonight, do you want to cook something? Mrs. Yu panicked when she heard that Lin Yi was leaving. I really have something to do. Gowden came this time to get me the medicine. I need to use this medicine to treat my girlfriend's father, I can't delay it. Lin Yi explained like this, giving Mrs. Yu a reason why he had to leave. I see. As expected, Mrs. Yu heard Lin Yi's words and didn't try to stop him. Lin Yi was in a hurry to treat his girlfriend's father, how could she stop him? Just like how Gowden was in a hurry to get Lin Yi to treat his injury, Gowden was also in a hurry, but hearing that Lin Yi came to treat her first, Mrs. Yu was very touched. It seemed like Lin Yi treated Gowden really well. Yu Yuanyuan could find a husband like this, and to have a big brother like this, it was really her and Gowden's fortune. Haha, auntie, didn't I say it already? With Gowden's relationship, we're not outsiders anymore. I'm Gowden's boss, so I'm Yu Yuanyuan's big brother, right? So don't stand on ceremony, when there's a chance, let's have a meal together. Lin Yi smiled. Alright, since you said so, I won't be unreasonable. You can go ahead with your work. When you're free, tell me and I'll prepare a feast for you. Mother Yu said hurriedly. I can also make fried chicken and hamburgers. Yu Yuanyuan also smiled and added, Brother, come to my house, I will cook for you. Yu Yuanyuan felt that Big Brother was a good way to address him. Okay, my two girls might like to eat this. I'll bring them over to eat some other day. Lin Yi laughed. Little girl? Yu Yuanyuan was surprised. Boss friends, one of them is his mistress. Gowden explained. He'd seen Meng Yarrow and Yushu before, they were as pretty as goddesses. Concubine? Yu Yuanyuan was even more stunned. Gowden misunderstood, it's just a girl who likes to mess around. She was just messing with him and he believed her. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Is that so? Yu Yuanyuan nodded and didn't ask any more. Whether or not Lin Yi had a concubine didn't have much to do with her, as long as she and Gowden were on good terms. Lin Yi left the room after thanking Yu Runhe and his mother profusely. The doctor who came in for a round walked around and was about to return to the on-call room. He raised his head and saw Mother Yu walking out of the ward, sending Lin Yi off gratefully. The doctor felt like he was struck by lightning. No way. What was going on? How did Mother Yu's leg recover? Wasn't this too unbelievable? Her bones were broken by a lion, but she could walk now. What was this? Medical skills. Lin Yi walked out of the ward and went to Tang Jucheng's ward. But when he got there, other than a nurse who was cleaning, there was no one else. The ward was empty. Tang Yun's luggage was gone too. Excuse me, where are the people here? Lin Yi knocked on the door and asked. They have already checked out. What's the matter? The nurse raised her head and asked. Checked out? Lin Yi was stunned, then he waved his hand and said, It's nothing. Yun, where are you? Lin Yi called Tang Yun directly and asked. I'm on the way to our new house. The new house is ready, so we checked out of the hospital and are preparing to move to our new house. Tang Yun said. Moving? Why didn't you tell me beforehand? Lin Yi asked with a bit of blame, if you told me earlier, I would have been able to help you. It's fine, hey, Tang Yun smiled. Tang Yin smiled. Fen's family is moving today as well, and Xiaobo borrowed a car from Fatty Lai, so our families can go together. I see. Lin Yi nodded. Since there was a car, it was good, so he said, Yun, Uncle Tang's leg can be treated now, I've got the medicine. How about I go to your new house now? Can be treated. Really? Tang Yun was suddenly happy and said, Okay, come to the new house directly, we'll be there soon. Okay. Lin Yi smiled and hung up the phone. After hanging up the phone with Tang Yun, Lin Yi called Kang Xiaobo. Boss, where are you? Why didn't you come? Kang Xiaobo picked up the phone and asked with some doubts. You still say I didn't come? Yun's family is moving today, why didn't you tell me? Lin Yi asked. Ah, you didn't know? Kang Xiaobo was stunned after listening to Lin Yi's words. How would I know if you didn't tell me? Lin Yi was a little dumbfounded. I thought Tang Yun would tell you. How would I know that she didn't say it? Kang Xiaobo suddenly smiled bitterly. Boss, You can't blame me. Okay, I'm just telling you, take Xiaofen to Yun Yun's house later. I got the medicine to treat her leg injury, I just happened to be treating Uncle Tang, so we can treat together. Lin Yi said. Are you serious? Boss, thank you so much. After listening to Lin Yi's words, Kang Xiaobo felt a burst of warmth in his heart. Lin Yi had always put Xiaofen's matter in his heart, which made Kang Xiaobo very touched. Although Kang Xiaobo didn't care whether Xiaofen's leg was really lame, even if it was like this for the rest of her life, Kang Xiaobo still loved her. But if she could be like a normal person, then Kang Xiaobo would find a way to make her return to normal no matter what. Kang Xiaobo didn't care about other people's eyes, but how painful would it be for a girl like Xiaofen? After knowing this good news, Kang Xiaobo almost jumped in joy. He hugged Xiaofen beside him, and he was extremely excited. What are you doing? Xiaofen was shocked by Kang Xiaobo's sudden action. Her parents were still on the side, and Kang Xiaobo made such a bold move. What was he going to do? Although their relationship had been set, it wasn't good to be so intimate in front of adults, right? Chapter 1205. A little strength Xiaofen exclaimed. At this moment, she felt emotional and complicated. After so many years, there was almost no possibility for her leg to recover. But now, Kang Xiaobo told her that it could be cured. Previously, after Xiaofen was dumped by Kang Mingming, she was disheartened and her life was filled with darkness. As for whether her leg was cured or not, it didn't matter. But ever since she fell in love with Kang Xiaobo, although Xiaofen didn't say anything, she would always cry and hate herself in the dead of night. How foolish was she to get her leg injured by a car because of a bad person, becoming a cripple. Now that she thought about it, how unworthy was it? How she let down Kang Xiaobo. She was no longer innocent, and she already let down Kang Xiaobo. Furthermore, her leg was damaged because of Kang Mingming. Xiaofen felt even more guilty. She felt that she wasn't worthy of Kang Xiaobo, and she blamed herself to the core. But Kang Xiaobo didn't care about it, and Xiaofen became even more depressed. It was almost becoming her heart disease. And at this moment, Kang Xiaobo told her that there was hope for her leg. If someone else said this, Xiaofen might not believe it. But it was Lin Yi, Kang Xiaobo's boss, who said it. Xiaofen believed it. Back then, during Dr. Kang's banquet, Lin Yi gave her and Kang Xiaobo the courage to stand in front of Kang Mingming's family for the first time. Then, Kang Xiaobo slowly built up his career and status. He even had a house and money. All of this was thanks to Lin Yi, the boss of her lover. So, when Kang Xiaobo told Xiaofen the good news, Xiaofen didn't doubt it and immediately cheered. That's great. Xiaobo, help me thank the boss. Of course. I've already thanked them. Xiaobo said with a smile. Tang Yun and Xiaofen's family basically started the renovation at the same time. With Fatty Lai's help, they worked overtime day and night. The new house had been completely tidied up. Not only did they have all the furniture and appliances, they even had daily necessities like pots and pans. Lin Yi couldn't help but praise Fatty Lai in his heart for being a very reliable person. Lil Yi, don't leave now that you're here. Auntie's cooking tonight, it's like the new house is on fire. Mrs. Tang smiled as she looked at Lin Yi. The more she looked at him, the more she liked him. She was 100% satisfied with this son-in-law of hers. Not to mention the benefits he brought to the family, he even said he could cure old Tang's illness today. Now that Tang Jucheng's leg was healed, he was in a good mood. He could also do some business with Mrs. Tang. This way, the family's life would be better. All right. Lin Yi didn't reject it. Since he had decided to be with Tang Yun, he wouldn't be polite with Mrs. Tang. Lin Yi also noticed that the more polite he was to Mrs. Tang, the more uncomfortable she felt. She thought that they were estranged, so it was better to be more easygoing. That's great. Yun, accompany Lil Yi and treat your father and Xiaofen. Xiaofen's mother and I will go to the market to buy some delicious food, Mrs. Tang said happily. Lin Yi already knew Tang Jucheng and Xiaofen's legs like the back of his hand. He had done a detailed examination before. Now, he only needed to use the nerve stimulation medicine to repair the nerves. Combined with acupuncture, it wouldn't be difficult for them to recover. Lin Yi, what do you need me to do? Tang Yun brought Lin Yi to her father's room and asked, "No need. Just watch from the side and don't let anyone disturb me." Lin Yi smiled and asked Tang Juqing, who was lying on the bed, "Uncle Tang, are you ready? I will stimulate the nerves later. It might be very painful." "It's fine. It's nothing." Tang Juqing smiled indifferently. "I have already survived the surgery. What's there to be afraid of? As long as I can stand up, I don't care how much pain I have to endure. Otherwise, I won't be able to do anything with my legs being inconvenient every day." "All right." Lin Yi nodded and began to treat Tang Juqing. Sigh. When the silver needle dipped in the medicine was inserted into the acupuncture point on Tang Juqing's leg, Tang Juqing couldn't help but take a deep breath. It wasn't just a matter of pain. It was extremely painful. One had to know that the nerves were very sensitive. Especially when Lin Yi used the nerve stimulation medicine to stimulate the nerves in Tang Juqing's leg. Tang Juqing directly sat up from the bed with a head full of cold sweat. Tang Yun's heart tightened when she saw her father's expression. She nervously looked at Lin Yi, but when she saw that Lin Yi's expression was normal, she let out a sigh of relief. "Dad, bear with it. Don't affect Lin Yi's treatment, okay?" Tang Juqing clenched his teeth. Naturally, he knew that if he moved, it would affect Lin Yi's treatment. Lin Yi smiled slightly and said, "Uncle Tang, don't be nervous. Think about the interesting things in the past and it will be over. For example, the past when you and Auntie were friends." "Ha ha." Tang Juqing heard Lin Yi's words and couldn't help but laugh. A fascinated expression appeared on his face. It was obvious that he was thinking about the past. Tang Yun, on the other hand, glared at Lin Yi. This guy had no respect for his elders. How dare he say anything? Yun, you don't know. Back then, your mother was a flower in the factory. Your old man, I, was able to win a beauty back then. I have a certain level of ability too." Tang Juqing's leg didn't hurt as much anymore when he talked about the past. "Dad." Tang Yun blushed when she heard her father's playful words. "Ha ha, it's nothing. You're already so old. We're already friends. What's there to be embarrassed about?" Tang Juqing laughed and said nonchalantly, "But Yun, you're even prettier than your mother back then, Dad." Tang Yun's face turned from red to black. "That's right, Uncle Tang. Yun is also the campus beauty in our school. I also won a beauty back then. I have a certain level of ability too," Lin Yi said shamelessly. "Huh." Tang Yun was stunned. She almost lost her balance and fell to the ground. What the hell was Lin Yi talking about? Why was he becoming more and more playful? Tang Yun raised her eyebrows and wanted to stop Lin Yi from talking nonsense. However, Tang Juqing laughed heartily. "Yeah, you're also capable. Otherwise, Yun wouldn't be so infatuated with you with her high standard." "Dad, when did I fall in love with you?" Tang Yun widened her eyes and looked at her father, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. "Last time, you misunderstood that Lin Yi didn't want you anymore. Didn't you cry your heart out?" Tang Juqing laughed. Chapter 1206. Distraction. "Dad, I'm going out." Tang Yun turned around to leave. However, Lin Yi smiled and put away the silver needles on Tang Juqing's leg. "Okay, Uncle Tang, stand up and take a walk?" "That's it." Tang Juqing was surprised. He didn't think that talking to Lin Yi would divert his attention. Unknowingly, the treatment was completed. Tang Juqing didn't feel any pain. Tang Yun realized that Lin Yi was talking nonsense with her father to distract her father and lessen his pain. She couldn't blame Lin Yi, but it was too embarrassing. Tang Juqing got off the bed and prepared to walk around the room twice. In fact, he could already walk slowly with his legs. Although he was limping a little, it was fine to walk slowly. However, this time, after Tang Juqing got off the bed, he almost tripped and fell when he walked away. "Dad." Tang Yun was shocked and quickly ran over to support Tang Juqing. However, she was confused. "Dad, what's wrong? Wasn't there a problem with your left leg? Why does it seem like there's a problem with your right leg now?" "I don't know." Tang Juqing was confused. It was his left leg before, but now it was his right leg. Did the disease not get cured and move to another place? Tang Yun quickly helped Tang Juqing to walk 2 more steps, but Tang Juqing's steps were still uneven. If it weren't for Tang Yun's support, he would have fallen to the ground already. Uncle Tang, you still don't think of yourself as a normal person. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile at the scene in front of him. You're still using your left leg when you're walking, but now that both your legs are working normally, you're using one leg and not the other, and the two legs aren't evenly distributed. It's only natural that you can't walk stably. Oh, is that so? Tang Juqing was surprised. He carefully thought about how he walked just now, and it did seem to be the case. However, he didn't do it on purpose. It was just a habit. He used to walk this way, so he still walked this way subconsciously. It was no wonder that he was in deep trouble. It was because of this reason. Thinking of this, Tang Juqing tried to use the same amount of strength to walk. Sure enough, he didn't stagger like before. Instead, he slowly became normal. Tang Yin covered her mouth in shock. Dad, it looks like your leg's healed. Well, it seems like there's really no problem. Haha. After taking 2 steps, Tang Juqing laughed happily. It's done, it's really done. Of course it's fine. Once you get used to it, you'll be no different from a normal person. Lin Yi smiled. Yunyun, let's go out and take a look. Xiaofen should be here too, right? Kang Xiaobo and Xiaofen went to Xiaofen's house first. After settling down there, they went to Tang Yin's house. At this moment, they were waiting in the living room. They knew that Lin Yi was treating Tang Juqing, so they didn't disturb him. When the bedroom door opened, Lin Yi walked in front while Tang Juqing and Tang Yun walked behind. Although Tang Juqing walked very slowly, he didn't need Tang Yun's support. However, Tang Yun was afraid that he would fall, so she still protected him by his side. But even so, it gave Kang Xiaobo and Xiaofen a huge shock. Tang Juqing's leg was even more serious than Xiaofen's. He was the kind of person who couldn't get up from the bed. But after witnessing a miracle step by step, Tang Juqing could finally walk steadily. No one would believe it if they said that it wasn't Lin Yi's doing. Kang Xiaobo stood up and looked excited. Uncle Tang, congratulations. Your leg is all healed. It's done. It's all healed. You can finally stand up and walk. Haha. Tang Juqing was really happy. At the same time, he was proud to have such a powerful son-in-law like Lin Yi. It was all thanks to Lin Yi's hard work that his family had gone from a poor family in the slums to a well-off family now. Most importantly, Lin Yi still doted on his daughter. This was what made Tang Juqing feel the most gratified. Kang Xiaobo's excitement was actually for Xiaofen. If Tang Juqing's leg was healed, then Xiaofen's leg would naturally be safe. Xiaobo, bring Xiaofen to the bedroom. Lin Yi looked at Kang Xiaobo's excited expression and smiled. Boss, aren't you going to rest for a while? Although Kang Xiaobo was anxious, he saw that Lin Yi had just treated Tang Juqing's leg. It should be tiring, so he should rest for a while, right? It's fine. Looking at your anxious expression, I'm afraid you can't wait, right? Lin Yi smiled. Hehe, not really. Kang Xiaobo was a little embarrassed, but he still brought Xiaofen to the bedroom. Uncle Tang, walk around by yourself first. You'll be fine if you walk slowly. I'll go and treat Xiaofen, Lin Yi said to Tang Juqing. All right, don't worry about me. You go do what you need to do. After Tang Juqing walked a few laps, he gradually grasped the technique of using his strength. The more he walked, the more agile he became. But then again, this leg was originally his, so it was quite easy to control. He didn't need to practice much, and he was already walking very well. This was also thanks to Tang Juqing's recovery training. Although he was limping, he had already recovered the muscle strength in his leg, which was why he was so skilled now. After entering the bedroom, Lin Yi looked at Xiaofen, and he was a little troubled. Most of the nerves in the leg were concentrated at the base of the thigh. It didn't matter when he was treating Tang Juqing. Tang Juqing was a man, so he only needed to wear underwear. In front of Lin Yi and his daughter, he didn't need to cover up too much. But Xiaofen was different. She was a girl, and she didn't have a close relationship with Lin Yi. It would be difficult for her to wear underwear in front of Lin Yi. Boss, what's wrong? Kang Xiaobo saw Lin Yi frowning, and he thought that Lin Yi was a little tired. So he quickly said, Boss, you should rest for a while. It's fine. Since you got the solution, isn't it just a matter of time for Xiaofen to recover? You don't have to rush. No, Xiaobo, you've misunderstood. Lin Yi waved his hand and said, during the treatment, you have to take off your pants, leaving only underwear. Xiaofen is a girl, isn't this too inconvenient? Chapter 1207. Xiao Xiao fainted again. Xiaobo, what kind of nonsense are you talking about? Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry after hearing Kang Xiaobo's words. I'm not talking about what you are thinking, I'm just worried that Xiao Fen will be embarrassed. What's the point of saying so much? Tang Yun didn't know what to say as well. She knew that Lin Yi wouldn't have any dirty thoughts towards Xiao Fen. She heard that when Lin Yi was treating Meng Yarrow was naked. Lin Yi didn't do anything to Meng Yarrow, so why would he have any dirty thoughts towards Xiao Fen? So, Tang Yun trusted Lin Yi very much. She said to Xiao Fen, I'll help you take off your pants. Xiao Fen nodded. Although she was a little shy, she knew that Lin Yi was doing this out of kindness. He wouldn't have any dirty thoughts towards her. She and Tang Yun weren't on the same level, and with Tang Yun by her side, Lin Yi would have any dirty thoughts towards her unless he was blind. With that thought, Xiao Fen stopped being shy and unbuckled her belt. With Tang Yun's help, she took off her pants, revealing her fair legs. It was quite sexy and beautiful. Tang Yun and Xiao Fen sneaked a glance at Lin Yi and realized that his eyes were clear without any lust. He was seriously observing the position of the needle. On the other hand, Kang Xiaobo looked like he was drooling. This made Tang Yun smile, but Xiao Fen was helpless. She glared at Kang Xiaobo and said, Can you be more serious? Hehe, I was thinking, wifey, if your legs are healed, wouldn't you become a first-class beauty? I really picked you up. Kang Xiaobo laughed. Xiao Fen turned her head and ignored him. Although Xiaofen and Kang Xiaobo had been together for a period of time, the two of them didn't cross the boundary. It wasn't that Kang Xiaobo didn't want to, but he felt that it wasn't the right time. Although the knot in Xiaofen's heart was untied, her leg injury wasn't completely healed. In this situation, Xiaofen definitely wouldn't feel comfortable in her heart. Therefore, Kang Xiaobo was drooling over Xiao Fen's exposed legs. Stop laughing. Go hug your wife and tell her some jokes or something. Lin Yi instructed Kang Xiaobo, it will be very painful when I insert the needle. Distract her attention. Oh, okay. Kang Xiaobo heard Lin Yi's words and quickly walked over. He hugged Xiao Fen and began to tell her jokes. There was a person called Zhong Pingliang. He fell in love with the campus belle, Chu Mengyaro. Kang Xiaobo began to tell Xiao Fen about Zhong Pingliang's embarrassing past. These were all things that happened in his class. Xiao Fen didn't know about it, but she didn't go to high school. She listened with great interest. Lin Yi inserted the needle quickly. Xiao Fen grimaced in pain, but she was distracted by Kang Xiaobo, so the treatment went smoothly. There were many rumors about Lin Yi in school, but Tang Yun didn't like Lin Yi and disliked Lin Yi, so she didn't care about the rumors about Lin Yi. Later on, she got together with Lin Yi, and Lin Yi kept a low profile, so the rumors about him decrease. So, she didn't know that Lin Yi peed all over Zhong Pingliang's face in the toilet, and that he fought with Heibao Bro during the exercise break. Now that she heard it from Kang Xiaobo, even Tang Yun couldn't help but laugh. I didn't think that Zhong Pingliang would be so unlucky. Tang Yun sighed. However, any bad guy would be unlucky if they met Lin Yi. Didn't Zhu Ruoming, Zhao Qibing, and the others get taught a lesson by Lin Yi? Ha ha. Lin Yi laughed and put away all the needles on Xiao Fen's leg. Alright, try walking. Ah, it's done. Xiao Fen's forehead was covered in sweat from the pain. Although she hoped that Lin Yi would finish the treatment soon, she also hoped that Lin Yi could cure her in one go. She wanted to become a normal person. Too much. Xiaobo, try walking with her. Hold her, don't let her fall. Lin Yi instructed. As soon as Lin Yi finished his sentence, Lin Yi's phone rang. Lin Yi took out his phone and looked at the caller ID. What he saw made him pause. The phone call was from Feng Tianlong. Why would he call him at this time? Hello, Uncle Feng. Lin Yi quickly picked up. Yi, where are you? Xiao Xiao fainted again. Can you come as soon as possible? The doctors here said that they can't do anything. Feng Tianlong's voice changed, filled with sorrow and anxiety. Ah! Where is Xiao Xiao? Lin Yi was shocked. Although he knew that this day wasn't far away, he didn't expect it to come so soon. I'm at her apartment. Can you come now? I'll get Li to pick you up. Feng Tianlong asked nervously. No need, I'll go now. Don't worry, Uncle Feng. I'll be there soon. She'll be fine. Lin Yi hung up the phone, his eyebrows furrowed. He told Tianlong that Xiao Xiao would be fine, but he didn't have any confidence at all. Lin Yi, what's wrong? What happened? Tang Yun's heart tightened when she saw the change in Lin Yi's expression. Yeah, boss, what's wrong? Kang Xiaobo asked. Xiao Xiao fainted again. I need to go check on her. Lin Yi said. Yun Yun, help me tell Auntie that I won't be eating here tonight. Tell her I'm sorry, I'll be leaving first. Wait, I'll go with you. Tang Yun said worriedly, worried that something might happen to Xiao Xiao. That's okay. Lin Yi saw the deep concern in Tang Yun's eyes. He knew that she wasn't faking it. She really was worried about Xiao Xiao. Logically speaking, for most women, if a girl who tried to steal their boyfriend died, then so be it. They would be overjoyed, so why would they care? But Tang Yun was different. She really cared about Xiao Xiao, just like when Meng Yao was poisoned last time. She was really worried about Meng Yao, and these weren't fake at all, they were her own thought. Lin Yi felt that he was very lucky to have such a generous and kind girlfriend. Boss, I want to go too. Kang Xiaobo and Xiao Xiao had a good relationship. When Xiao Xiao wanted to chase Lin Yi, he'd helped her plan before. So when he heard that Xiao Xiao fainted, Kang Xiaobo wanted to go as well. Chapter 1208. It's very strange, all right. Kang Xiaobo nodded and didn't say anything else. He had to listen to Lin Yi. After leaving the bedroom, Tang Yun said something to her dad and ran out with Lin Yi. They went downstairs and got in the car. Tang Yun finally let out a breath of relief. Lin Yi, you have a way to save Xiao Xiao, right? I'm not sure yet, we'll see. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Tang Yun couldn't help but fall silent after hearing Lin Yi's words. How could Tang Yun not understand what Lin Yi meant? Lin Yi meant that he wasn't confident. If it was something he was confident about, like when Lin Yi promised to cure her dad, he would definitely be able to cure her. But now, Lin Yi said he'll see. So Tang Yun knew that Xiao Xiao was really in danger this time. Lin Yi ran through a couple of red lights and soon arrived at Xiao Xiao's district. Lin Yi and Tang Yun weren't unfamiliar with this place. After parking the car, Lin Yi rushed into Xiao Xiao's house. Tianlong opened the door for Lin Yi with a haggard face, and Lin Yi asked anxiously, "How is it?" "Uncle Feng? This is Xiao Xiao's doctor, Head Liu." "Head Liu, tell Lil Yi about Xiao Xiao's situation," Tianlong said to a doctor in a white coat not far from him. "Yes, Mr. Feng." Head Liu nodded. He didn't know what Lin Yi did, but he knew who Tianlong was. He didn't hide it and said directly, Miss Feng's illness this time was very sudden. We've tried our best, but all the rescue measures were useless. Miss Feng's vitals aren't very good, and her physiological functions are deteriorating. Let me see. Lin Yi listened to Liu's words as he walked quickly to Xiao Xiao's sickbed. There were several tubes and wires connected to Xiao Xiao's body, and there were all sorts of instruments working. Lin Yi frowned at the sight. "Remove all these things. Remove it." Chief Surgeon Liu was stunned. "Listen to Yi, take them all off." Tianlong didn't know what Lin Yi meant, but since Lin Yi could save Xiao Xiao last time, he should be able to do the same this time. He just needed to listen to him. "Okay, Mr. Feng." Director Liu got Tianlong's approval and started removing the wires and tubes from Xiao Xiao's body with the other nurses. Tang Yun looked at the pale-faced Xiao Xiao lying on the sickbed, her heart aching. She had expected this day to come, but now that it had come, she still felt bad. "Lin Yi, can you save her? I'm begging you." Tang Yun looked at Xiao Xiao and couldn't bear to see her like this. After all this time, she had treated Xiao Xiao as her best friend. If anything happened to Xiao Xiao, Tang Yun would be very sad. Tang Yun's begging stunned Feng Tianlong. Other people didn't know, but they thought that Tang Yun was Xiao Xiao's best friend, so it was reasonable for them to worry for her. But Tianlong knew that his daughter was Tang Yun's love rival. According to the agreement, Tang Yun was the main wife, and Xiao Xiao was the second wife, but no one would want to have a second wife, right? But Tang Yun was worried for Xiao Xiao, and judging from her expression, she wasn't faking it. What kind of person was Feng Tianlong? He was a secret agent, and his ability to read people was top-notch. If Tang Yun was pretending to be nice to him, Feng Tianlong would be able to tell with one look. But all he saw was sincerity and anxiousness. There was no pretense. At this moment, Tianlong was very touched and respectful. This girl was really generous and kind. It was Lin Yi's fortune to have a girlfriend like this. Compared to his daughter, he was probably a little more selfish, right? Isn't she my girlfriend too? I'll try my best. Looking at Tang Yun, Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but he still said seriously, "Okay." Tang Yun nodded. Lin Yi held Xiao Xiao's hand and said to Tianlong, "Don't let anyone disturb me." "Okay, I understand." Feng Tianlong nodded and immediately ordered Li Yifeng behind him, "Little Li, guard the door, don't let anyone come in and disturb us." "Yes." Li Yifeng traced the gun at his waist and solemnly nodded. Then, he quickly stood guard at the door. Lin Yi channeled the art of dragon mastery. He had a taste of Xiao Xiao's power last time, so this time, in order to prevent his energy from being sucked dry by Xiao Xiao, Lin Yi went into sleep mode and entered the jade space, using the energy in the space to support Xiao Xiao's absorption. Lin Yi's prediction was correct. Just like last time, as soon as he channeled the art of dragon mastery, the energy in the jade space surged into Xiao Xiao's body through his hand. But this time, Lin Yi had it a little better. After all, the energy in the jade space was endless. But the next moment, Lin Yi was shocked. Because Lin Yi realized that the energy in the jade space wasn't enough for Xiao Xiao at all, and the energy in his body was flowing into Xiao Xiao's body bit by bit. This was the first time Lin Yi had encountered such a situation. Whether it was treating General Weiwu or helping Forbert and Lingshan level up, he could transfer the energy into their bodies directly through the jade space. There had never been a situation like this. He felt that Xiao Xiao's body was strange, but he didn't expect it to be this strange. Lin Yi's face changed. "Jiao Lao, what's going on?" "Strange. Extremely strange." Elder Jiao was also deep in thought. Her body is so strange, but it doesn't seem to have much effect even if you send in all that energy. Her life is about to run out, no amount of energy will help, it's just barely enough to keep her alive. It seems like it's impossible for her to wake up. What do you mean? Lin Yi heard Jiao Yaz's words and froze. Useless? How is it useless? Jiao Lao, you're saying that she's at the end of her life, and there's no use this time? Chapter 1209. There's no way. If that's the case, then I'll try no matter what. Lin Yi heard Jiao Yaz's words and relaxed a little. Since Xiao Xiao could be saved last time, then it shouldn't be a problem this time as well. After all, Jiao Yazi said that his main body wasn't here, and his senses weren't very accurate. With that thought, he let out a breath of relief. No matter what, it was fine as long as there was hope. Even if he had to transfer energy to Xiao Xiao every few days, as long as he had the jade space, he'd still have all the energy he needed. The energy in Lin Yi's body was flowing very slowly, but more than half of it went into Xiao Xiao's body, and the energy in the jade space was flowing into Xiao Xiao's body endlessly. Lin Yi was a little shocked. It seemed like Xiao Xiao didn't absorb all the energy in his body last time, but she was forced to stop because there was no more energy left. Time passed, but Xiao Xiao's body didn't stop absorbing Lin Yi's energy, and it didn't seem like it was slowing down at all. It was still rushing through Lin Yi's body. Half an hour. 1 hour. 2 hours. 5 hours. The energy in Lin Yi's body was flowing slowly, but it was getting lesser and lesser. It looked like it was going to be sucked dry by Xiao Xiao soon. This made Lin Yi grit his teeth and hold on, but at the same time, he was panicking. Jiao Lao, what's going on? Her body seems to need energy non-stop, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop at all. Lin Yi's voice was panicking. I don't know, but it's weird, really weird. Her body has been absorbing the energy you're sending to her, but the energy doesn't seem to stay in her body. I don't know where it went. Jiao Yazi had a worried look on his face as well. It seemed like he didn't know what was going on with Xiao Xiao either. The last trace of energy in Lin Yi's body was sucked dry. Lin Yi knew that things might be different from what he had expected. According to his calculations, Xiao Xiao should have woken up long ago. Last time, all he did was transfer his own energy to Xiao Xiao, and she woke up right away. But now, not only did he transfer his own energy to Xiao Xiao, but he also transferred a large amount of energy from the jade space to Xiao Xiao. To put it bluntly, if this energy was given to Forbert or Lingshan, they'd have leveled up a long time ago. But Xiao Xiao was still lying on the bed, not moving at all. Lin Yi was sleeping, but he could sense what was going on outside. Xiao Xiao wasn't awake yet. With that thought, Lin Yi subconsciously stopped the art of dragon mastery. He couldn't keep transferring energy like this. His qi went into Xiao Xiao's body, but it didn't seem to stay at all. When he checked Xiao Xiao's body, she was still a normal person. There weren't any energy waves like General Weiwu was familiar with. Lin Yi stopped the art of dragon mastery, and the energy transferred into Xiao Xiao's body stopped as well. Xiao Xiao's body couldn't absorb the energy from Lin Yi's body anymore, so she stopped. Lin Yi didn't have the time to recover his strength first after all. Xiao Xiao's situation was more important. Recovering his strength later wasn't a problem, since it wouldn't affect him much in the short term. Lin Yi opened his eyes, and Tang Yun and Tianlong, who had been paying attention to Lin Yi's expression, quickly walked closer and asked, "How is it?" "It's weird. According to what happened last time, Xiao Xiao returned to normal after I transferred my qi over, but this time, I used up all the qi in my body, and there's no effect." Lin Yi smiled bitterly, not daring to talk about the jade space. After all, the jade space wasn't something that could be easily revealed to others. So, Lin Yi only mentioned himself. Even so, Tianlong was shocked. "What? You gave all your qi to Xiao Xiao?" Tianlong's eyes widened. "Yes." Lin Yi smiled and didn't suppress his strength. He started the chant of the art of dragon mastery, and the weak qi in the air was activated by Lin Yi. At this moment, Tianlong could clearly feel Lin Yi's strength. It could be said that Lin Yi had no strength at all. Other than the qi in his body that was slightly stronger than a normal person, there was nothing else. You lost all your strength. You lost all your strength for Xiao Xiao?" Tianlong looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. One had to know that Tianlong was a practitioner, and he knew how important strength was to a practitioner. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was sacrificing all his strength just to save Xiao Xiao. Just how deep did their relationship have to be to do something like this? Tianlong knew that he could do it, because he was Xiao Xiao's father. The power of a father's love was boundless. But what was Lin Yi? Why would Lin Yi do this? Was it just because Xiao Xiao was his girlfriend for a few days? Their relationship wasn't that deep to the point where he was willing to sacrifice himself for her, right? "I can recover, and you don't have to worry about Feng sleeping." Lin Yi waved his hand. "Now, we need to think about Xiao Xiao. Why is it the same as last time? It worked last time, but not this time." Tianlong and Tang Yun looked at each other. They knew that they couldn't help Lin Yi, so they didn't say anything. They just waited for Lin Yi to make his next move. Lin Yi was panicking as well. He could do it before, but now he couldn't. What was going on? Lin Yi couldn't figure it out. He touched Xiao Xiao and checked the life force in her body. Sadly, Lin Yi realized that he didn't know where his energy went. There was no energy in Xiao Xiao's body at all. That boundless energy of his, if absorbed, would be enough to create an Earth class or even a Sky class. But Xiao Xiao's body was still empty. It seemed like he couldn't do it anymore. He had to call for help. Tianlong had said that he brought Xiao Xiao's mother to old Lin, and the old man couldn't do anything about it. But after so many years, the old man might be able to do something. Even if he couldn't do anything, at least there was a chance to save her life. With that thought, Lin Yi picked up his phone and called the old man, not bothering to hide from Tianlong and Tang Yun. "Answer it quickly, answer it quickly. What are you doing, old man?" Chapter 12:10. Frigid Qi. Finally, after a few rings, old Lin's lazy voice came from the other side. "Is this Lil Yi? Why did you call this old man? Did you see Gauden? Are you all right?" "Old man, Let's not talk about this, I have something urgent to talk to you about. Lin Yi interrupted the old man. He was worried about Xiao Xiao's safety, he didn't have time to talk to the old man. What's the matter? What is it? Did something happen on your side? The old man's face tensed up, his tone turning from lazy to serious. There's a strange disease that you've seen before, and you've treated it before, but you couldn't do anything about it. Do you have a new way? Lin Yi didn't know how to explain it to the old man. He didn't have the time to describe Xiao Xiao's condition, and even if he did, he wouldn't be able to explain it clearly. After all, Lin Yi didn't know much about Xiao Xiao's condition. What strange disease? What are you talking about? Lin Yi's words confused the old man. He didn't know what disease he was talking about. All right, I'll give the phone to Feng Tianlong, and he'll talk to you. Lin Yi didn't want to waste time. Every second was precious, and he couldn't waste any more time. It was better to let Feng Tianlong talk to the old man, and it would be easier than doing it himself. Feng Tianlong paused when he saw Lin Yi pass the phone over, but he still picked it up. Hello, I'm Feng Tianlong. Feng Tianlong. Feng Tianlong. Old Lin mumbled the name, and his thoughts opened up like a tidal wave. It was as if he had returned to his prime. That time, that friendship, was irreplaceable. Hello. May I know who you are? Feng Tianlong was a bit weird, the voice was familiar, but also strange. He only said his name, and didn't say anything. Feng, I'm Lin Dongfang. Old Lin sighed, I didn't think that Lil Yi would be by your side. Elder Lin, it's really you. Feng Tianlong fell into a state of excitement. Elder Lin, where are you? I heard that you went into seclusion. After that, there was no news of you and Captain. Let's not talk about the old days. Let's talk about you first. Didn't Su already leave? Why? Oh, could it be your daughter? Lin Dongfang pinched his fingers together and calculated. He couldn't help but think to himself that time was merciless. In the blink of an eye, almost 20 years had passed. Did that mean that Tianlong's daughter was at the end of her life? Lin Dongfang felt guilty for not being able to find a cure for Tianlong's wife's illness. However, Tianlong's wife's illness wasn't a common one. Old Lin had never seen or even heard of it. Therefore, all these years, although they had been researching, they had not found a solution. He remembered how he promised Feng Tianlong's wife, Xiao Susu, that he would find a way to cure her daughter, but after so many years, there was still no progress. Yes, it's my daughter, Xiao Xiao. Lil Yi is treating her now. Elder Lin, do you have a solution? Tianlong didn't think that he would meet Lin Dongfang at this time. If Lin Dongfang had a solution, then things might really turn around. How about this, you give the phone to Lil Yi. I'll talk to him. Old Lin sighed. He didn't have the heart to tell Tianlong that he had no solution. He could only let him give the phone to Lin Yi. Okay, please wait. Tianlong knew that this wasn't the time to reminisce. Saving Xiao Xiao was more important. So Tianlong gave the phone back to Lin Yi. Elder Lin is looking for you. Old man, how is it? Do you know what the illness is now? Lin Yi hurriedly asked, is there a solution? No. Or at the moment. Old Lin sighed, I've read many ancient books about this illness, and I've visited many people. Until now, there's only a shallow theory. Oh. What is it? Tell me. Lin Yi's heart sank when he heard that there was no solution, but he didn't give up. He hoped that the old man could tell him more about Xiao Xiao's illness. Lin Yi wanted to see if he could find a solution. After all, he still had Elder Jiao. When the time came, he could discuss it with him. Who knows, there might really be a solution. How do I put it? Xiao Susu's illness is similar to being poisoned, but I'm not sure if it's a poison or not. It looks similar. Old Lin said, when I visited Xiao Susu's hometown, I asked Feng Tianlong to get her family tree through the investigation department, and I found a problem. Xiao Susu? What problem? Lin Yi quickly asked. Xiao Susu is Feng Tianlong's wife, Old Lin said. Xiao Susu's ancestor should be a guardian of a sect, similar to the high priest. Her ancestors have been guardians for generations, but for some reason, her branch left the sect, or maybe the sect was destroyed, so they lost their practitioner's arts, and they lost the way to channel the cold energy in their body. That's why this tragedy happened. Cold energy? Lin Yi didn't expect there to be so many stories behind this. He couldn't help but be surprised. Then what should I do now? Old man, what did you mean when you said that there was no solution for now? Does that mean there's a possibility of a cure? That's right, it's the cold yin qi. This cold yin qi weakens when it meets strong opponents. If there's a suitable cultivation method and a suitable cultivation method, this cold yin qi will slowly be controlled by the cultivator and become a type of true qi to enhance one's own strength. In other words, when a strong practitioner is the main force, the cold energy is the support, but Feng Tianlong's wife and daughter, even the generations before them, all had the cold energy as the main force, and they were the support. So naturally, their bodies would have problems. Old Lin explained, this cold energy is similar to the poison in a Gauden's body. It will devour the nutrients in the body. As one grows older, the cold yin energy will also grow. When one reaches the age of 20, the cold yin energy will be completely formed. At that point, the body's nutrients will be devoured. Apart from the cold yin energy devouring the body's vitality, there is no other possibility. Chapter 12:11. Nothing will work. But Tang Yun seemed to have the same feeling as well. So Lin Yi didn't pay much attention to it, but now that he thought about it, there must be a problem. But Tang Yun didn't have a problem. Or maybe Tang Yun was born with cold hands. As for a cure, there is, but it can't be done right now. Old Lin sighed, this is fate. What is it? Hurry up and tell me, don't just sigh over there. Old man, why are you taking so long? Lin Yi said helplessly. First, find a cultivator who has a Yang Heart Sutra and use his true qi to slowly neutralize the yin qi in her body. Even though it can't completely solve the problem, it can achieve the goal of prolonging her life. But this person must be at least sky class. Old Lin said, plus, this method has its limitations. In the beginning, a sky class can suppress it, but as they grow older, the cold energy will grow stronger and stronger, and suppressing it will become more and more difficult. In the end, it might not work at all. Chem. Old man, I practice the art of dragon mastery, isn't that a young practitioner's arts? Then my pure qi should work on Xiao Xiao, right? Lin Yi was thinking about how his pure qi worked on Xiao Xiao the first time, so why didn't it work the second time? Could it be that there was something that he had overlooked? Your art of dragon mastery is like that, but don't try it. You might lose your life if you do. Old Lin warned after hearing Lin Yi's words, your strength is too low, it won't work. If you put your pure qi into her body right now, you'll be sucked dry, and all your qi will become a feast for the cold energy. Ooh, I've been sucked dry already. Lin Yi said awkwardly. What? Already, sucked dry? Old Lin paused, his tone growing anxious. Yi, is what you're saying true? Lin Yi was stunned by Old Lin's anxious tone. In Lin Yi's impression, Old Man Lin had always been calm and composed. He was rarely anxious. Even when Lin Yi was injured, Old Man Lin wasn't anxious. He only asked Lin Yi to go to the West Star Mountain village to seek refuge. But this time, Old Man Lin was really anxious. Lin Yi was very touched by this strong sense of camaraderie. Don't be fooled by Old Man Lin's nonchalant appearance. When something really happened, Old Man Lin was still the one who cared about him the most. It's true. My current strength is 0, Lin Yi said. Then you're not dead yet. Is it a human or a ghost? Old Lin hurriedly asked. He's not dead. He's alive and well. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It's good that you're still alive. Old Lin heaved a sigh of relief. If you lose your strength, you can train again. If you die, you'll lose everything. Thank goodness. You didn't die right away. Lin Yi was a little speechless. I've experienced it before, too. Last time in Yangjing, my qi was sucked dry, but it was a blessing in disguise, and I broke through after training again. I think I'll be able to break through again if I train again. I'm roughly at the bottleneck of Mystic mid-phase peak. I should be able to break through in one go. Fuck. Old Lin's eyes widened after hearing Lin Yi's words. You're playing with her to level up. That scared the hell out of me. It's not really leveling up. It's just that I'm about to break through the bottleneck. Without breaking, there can be no construction. It's just easier to break through the bottleneck. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Forget it. You can't right now. Old Man Lin said firmly, even if you refine the true qi in your body and transfer it back to her, repeating the cycle, it will still be useless. Your true qi will become a feast for the yin qi, and it will only make the yin qi stronger and stronger. I see. Lin Yi was troubled. Did he do something bad out of kindness? He put so much qi into Xiao Xiao's body, and not only did it not benefit her, it was actually harmful. He couldn't deal with a sky class with the extreme young arts right now, and the old man said that this was just a way to extend his lifespan. He could use it now, but he couldn't use it forever. There would be trouble in the future, and so, Lin Yi turned his attention to the second method. Old man, since there's a first method, doesn't that mean there's another way? There is. Legend has it that there's a fruit called the fire spirit's fruit. It's a fruit of pure yang, containing the extreme yang qi of the heavens and earth. Eating one can suppress the yin qi in one's body for tens of years. Of course, it varies from person to person. Some people may be suppressed for the rest of their lives, but some people can only suppress it for 8 to 10 years. However, this is a more stable method. Old Lin said, at least it is more stable and safer than the first method. Fire spirit's fruit? I've never heard of it. What is that? Lin Yi paused. He'd never heard of something like this before. I don't know either. Old Lin's words were like a bucket of cold water splashed on his head. Lin Yi wanted to curse. Don't know what you're talking about. Aren't you just spouting nonsense? But Lin Yi suppressed his anger and asked. Old man, if you don't know, then why do you say that? I've only read about this fruit in some ancient medicine compendiums. It's a great medicine to remove the yin qi, but I don't know what it looks like or where to find it. Old Lin sighed. If I could find it, I would have done it a long time ago. Why would I wait until now? Lin Yi thought about what Old Lin said and felt that it made sense. If he knew where to look, he would have done it a long time ago. He was in too much of a rush and forgot about this. So this method is just a legend. It's impossible to achieve. Lin Yi said, troubled. Yes, unless you can find a fire spirit's fruit and give it to her. Old Lin nodded. Is there a third way? Lin Yi asked. A third way? I guess there is. Find a top-tier yin qi practitioner's chant for her, and when she reaches sky class, perhaps she'll be able to guide the yin qi in her body for her own use. Old Lin said after some thought. That's. Lin Yi was speechless. Putting aside how hard it was to find a top-level cold practitioner's arts, even if he did find one, he wouldn't be able to make much progress in this kind of weather. Even if he did make some progress, it'd still be extremely difficult to reach sky class. Plus, the most important thing was that Xiao Xiao was unconscious. How was she supposed to train? And so Lin Yi had to say, isn't that obvious? Chapter 12:12. What did I miss? Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Indeed, Old Lin had said from the start that he couldn't do anything. He was the one who was too stubborn. But Lin Yi didn't give up. That's not right, old man. Xiao Xiao fainted before, and I used my qi to treat her. She did wake up, didn't she? I almost forgot about that if you didn't mention it. Old Lin's expression turned serious as he said, that's absolutely impossible. Your current level of true qi will only harm her body and not benefit her. So think about it carefully. Did something else happen the last time she woke up? She shouldn't be of any use. You've been misled. Misled? Lin Yi paused, recalling the situation in detail. Xiao Xiao had fainted, and he'd carried her to the bed, channeling the art of dragon mastery. She'd woken up not long after, and that was the process. Nothing else had happened. Yes, I think you've been misled. Old Lin said with certainty. I've researched this disease for a much longer time than you. I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely not because of your qi. I really can't think of anything. Lin Yi was troubled. Success was right in front of him, but he couldn't figure it out. Lin Yi knew that he might have overlooked something, but what was it that he had overlooked? I can't help you with that. You'll have to think about it yourself. Old Lin said faintly. But let me ask, you seem to care a lot about this Xiao Xiao's life and death. Yeah. She's my girlfriend, Lin Yi said with certainty. Oh. Old Lin heard Lin Yi's words. This sounded a little weird, but he didn't say anything. Good luck. Lin Yi hung up, his mind a mess. The information old Lin gave him was useful, giving him a more detailed understanding of Xiao Xiao's body, but it wasn't of any use at all. It wasn't of any help to the situation right now. How is it? Does Elder Lin have any ideas? Feng Tianlong waited for Lin Yi to hang up before asking anxiously. In fact, he had already guessed the answer from Lin Yi's disappointed and anxious expression, but he didn't give up and tried again. Lin Yi shook his head slightly. There was no need to lie to Tianlong about something like this. Seeing that Xiao Xiao was in a life-and-death situation, there was no point in lying. It would only make Tianlong more disappointed. Feng Tianlong sighed. He had already expected this outcome. Uncle Feng, let me think about it. Lin Yi waved his hand, telling Tianlong not to rush. Lin Yi was thinking about that day in the hotel in Yangjing, how he did it with Xiao Xiao. Tianlong nodded and looked at Lin Yi nervously. Lin Yi closed his eyes and carefully recalled the scene, but no matter how he thought about it, he couldn't find anything special. Jiao Lao, help me remember that day in the hotel in Yangjing. What happened before and after? Help me think, from start to finish, don't miss a single detail. Lin Yi asked Jiao Lao for help. Okay. Elder Jiao said after some thought. That day, Xiao Xiao went to take a shower, and you waited for her in the room. She didn't move for a while, so you went to check and found her unconscious in the bathroom. You picked her up and started groping her chest. Huh? Lin Yi's face reddened. Jiao Lao, don't mention this, it wasn't on purpose. Didn't you tell me not to miss a single detail? Jiao Yazi hemphed. Okay, continue then. Lin Yi didn't care about being embarrassed anymore. Remembering the details was more important. And then you realized this and almost threw Xiao Xiao out, and then accidentally cut your arm on the door lock, and you carried her to the bed to save her. Jiao Yazi said in detail. Wait, cut my arm? Lin Yi frowned. The only unusual thing in this whole thing was that he cut his arm. He remembered that there was blood everywhere, on Xiao Xiao's body and bedsheets, and the next morning Xiao Xiao thought that he had done something to her. Yes, I cut my arm. Jiao Yazi said suddenly. Right, your blood is also of the yang attribute because of the art of dragon mastery. Could it be that your blood saved Xiao Xiao? Oh. Lin Yi thought that it was possible without another word. He bit his finger, and the blood flowed down to Xiao Xiao's forehead. What are you doing? Tianlong was shocked. He didn't expect Lin Yi to do this. He didn't know what he meant. Tang Yun, on the other hand, was startled as well. She didn't know what Lin Yi was doing, but Lin Yi must have a reason for doing this. She turned to Tianlong. Uncle Feng, please don't fret, Lin Yi must have a plan. Oh. Tianlong looked at Tang Yun, a little embarrassed. He wasn't as calm as a 19-year-old girl. It made sense, after all, he was worried about Xiao Xiao's safety, so naturally his heart would be more fragile. What Lin Yi didn't expect was that the blood seemed to seep into Xiao Xiao's skin, getting absorbed bit by bit. Lin Yi's body had already gotten rid of the impurities when he broke through to golden class, so his blood was very pure. Xiao Xiao absorbed it cleanly in no time. A look of relief flashed across Lin Yi's face. He was really lucky today. If it weren't for old Lin's reminder and Jiao Yazi's help, he would have missed this small detail. But he didn't expect that this small detail was the key to saving Xiao Xiao. Tianlong's eyes widened as he watched his daughter absorb Lin Yi's blood. He didn't know what Lin Yi was doing, but no matter what, it had to be good for Xiao Xiao, or his daughter wouldn't be able to absorb Lin Yi's blood. Tang Yun covered her mouth as well. She didn't expect Lin Yi to use his own blood to save Xiao Xiao. She felt dizzy. If it was just a little bit of blood, Tang Yun wouldn't care, but in just a short while, Lin Yi had lost at least half a bottle's worth of blood. If this continued, would he be able to take it? Chapter 12-13. Do you know something? Time passed, and Xiao Xiao's pale face slowly regained some color. Lin Yi let out a breath of relief. It seemed like Xiao Xiao was fine now. Tianlong and Tang Yun saw Xiao Xiao's change as well, and they both let out a breath of relief. Not long after, Xiao Xiao opened her eyes, and the first thing she saw was Lin Yi's bleeding finger. She jumped, thinking that she was having a nightmare. She screamed, Xiao Xiao, you're awake? Only then did he pull his finger back, silently channeling the art of dragon mastery to heal the wound on his finger. But sadly, he realized that there was no energy left in his body. How was he supposed to heal the wound? Lin Yi smiled bitterly and took out a bottle of ointment. He'd given all his qi to Xiao Xiao, and he'd forgotten about it. Lin Yi, honey. Xiao Xiao finally saw that the person in front of her was Lin Yi, but she didn't know why Lin Yi had a bleeding finger on her head. Xiao Xiao, you're really awake? That's great. Tianlong quickly walked to Xiao Xiao's bedside as well, surprised to see his daughter awake. Dad. Why are you here too? Xiao Xiao blushed, embarrassed. Did she just call Lin Yi honey in front of her dad? Xiao Xiao, you didn't know that you were unconscious? Tianlong didn't have the time to care if his daughter called Lin Yi honey in front of him. Even if she did, it didn't matter. As far as Tianlong was concerned, Lin Yi was a good son-in-law. At least he was satisfied. So the better Xiao Xiao and Lin Yi were, the happier Tianlong was. I fainted. I think so. Tianlong's words reminded Xiao Xiao, my chest was a bit uncomfortable, so I wanted to lie on the bed for a while, but it got worse and worse, and I think I fell asleep. I don't know anything after that. Xiao Xiao, you almost entered the gates of hell, it was Yi who saved you. Foam Tianlong sighed. Although he didn't know when his daughter's illness would act up again after waking up, no matter what, it was better to live one more day. Xiao Xiao remembered Lin Yi waving his bleeding finger on her face. Was he healing her? Thinking about it, it seemed possible. Last time in the hotel in Yangjing, there was blood all over the bed when she woke up. She thought that Lin Yi had pushed her. Thinking about Lin Yi using his blood to heal her, Xiao Xiao was very grateful. Lin Yi honey, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Lin Yi smiled faintly. You said it yourself, I'm your husband. Why are you thanking me? Hehe, you're right. Xiao Xiao was back to her usual cheerful self. Tang Yun let out a long breath and looked at Lin Yi. Lin Yi, are you all right? I'm fine. I'll be fine after some rest. Lin Yi did look a bit weak right now. In fact, Lin Yi was very weak as well. He didn't have any qi left, and he lost a lot of blood. How could he not be weak? But, finding a way to extend Xiao Xiao's life made Lin Yi very happy. His qi didn't work on Xiao Xiao, but his blood was very effective. It could wake her up. But thinking about it, it hadn't been that long since the auction, and Xiao Xiao's illness acted up again. Lin Yi wasn't very optimistic. How long could she last this time? Who knew when it would act up again? And when it acted up, would his blood still be useful? This time, the amount of blood Lin Yi gave to Xiao Xiao was clearly much more than last time. Last time, he just accidentally let out some blood, and it was enough to cure her. But this time, he purposely let out a lot of blood. Okay, Tang Yun nodded, seeing that other than exhaustion, there didn't seem to be anything wrong with Lin Yi. Yun, stay with Xiao Xiao for a while. I'm going to take a nap. I can't take it anymore. Lin Yi felt like his eyelids were fighting. He didn't feel like this before because he was worried about Xiao Xiao, but now that he was completely relaxed, he felt drowsy. Lin Yi honey, sleep on my bed. I'm the only bed in the house, and I'm fine now. Xiao Xiao quickly sat up and said to Lin Yi. Seeing that Xiao Xiao's face was rosy, Lin Yi didn't reject it. He nodded and fell onto Xiao Xiao's bed, entering the jade space impatiently. Tang Yun, Tianlong, and Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, quietly left the room and closed the door for Lin Yi, not wanting to disturb him. Xiao Xiao, you really scared us to death this time. Tang Yun patted her chest as she looked at Xiao Xiao, who was still as lively as ever. Hehe, Yun sis, were you really worried about me? If I die, no one's going to steal Lin Yi's husband away from you. Xiao Xiao grinned as she looked at Tang Yun, teasing her. Ahem. Tang Yun's face reddened, but she said seriously, Xiao Xiao, what are you thinking? I really see you as a good friend, a good sister. If something happened to you, of course I'd be sad. If it's possible, I really hope that you'll be healthy forever, and nothing will happen to you. Really? Xiao Xiao was overjoyed and touched. Tang Yun was really, really good to her. She didn't bully the small wife, but took care of her. Perhaps she was the best big wife in the world. Yes, really. Tang Yun said sincerely. Haha, I'm so happy. Xiao Xiao was in a great mood, but she suddenly thought of something. Her face changed. Yun sis, do you know something? Tang Yun's words earlier made Xiao Xiao, who was smart and sensitive, realize something. Tang Yun said that if it was possible, she hoped that she'd be healthy forever, and nothing would happen to her. What did she mean by maybe? Did she know that she didn't have long to live? Tang Yun paused, not expecting Xiao Xiao to be so sensitive. She was just sighing, and Xiao Xiao noticed something. She didn't know how to answer. If she said she knew, would Xiao Xiao think that she and Lin Yi were friends with her because they felt sorry for her? For a moment, Tang Yun was in a dilemma. Chapter 12:14. You can't blame me, right? Tianlong had been listening to Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao's conversation, and while he was thankful for Tang Yun, he was happy for his daughter as well. At the end of her life, she met a reasonable wife like Tang Yun. If it were someone else, they'd be wishing for Xiao Xiao's death. Tianlong saw that his daughter had noticed something, and naturally, he stepped up to explain the situation. He was afraid that Xiao Xiao would think that Lin Yi and Tang Yun were doing this out of pity for her. Ah! Xiao Xiao's heart skipped a beat. So it was like that. Lin Yi's husband and Tang Yun sis knew the truth now, but she let out a breath of relief. She'd have to say it sooner or later anyway, and it was easier to say it from her father's mouth. Otherwise, she wouldn't know how she'd tell Lin Yi. This had always been a sore point in Xiao Xiao's heart. She didn't want Lin Yi to feel the pain she brought him when she left, but she was deeply immersed in the beauty of love, unable to pull herself out. And so Xiao Xiao's heart was in a mess. She didn't want to leave Lin Yi, but there was nothing she could do. She lived in self-blame every day, waking up from nightmares all the time. Plus, not only did she have a boyfriend like Lin Yi, but she also had Tang Yun, a sister who loved her so much. Love, friendship. She had it all, but the more she had it, the more she was afraid of losing it. Now that her father told Lin Yi and Tang Yun about her situation, Xiao Xiao felt much more relaxed. Tang Yun sis, you guys don't blame me, right? I've been hiding these things from you guys. Xiao Xiao couldn't look Tang Yun in the eye anymore. Not at all. In fact, we all sympathize with you. Tang Yun sighed. Xiao Xiao, to be honest, I was really shocked when I found out about this, but considering your personality, I can guess that you knew you wouldn't be able to live for long. That's why you're like this, right? Yeah. Xiao Xiao nodded, unsurprised Tang Yun guessed it all after knowing her situation, so it wasn't anything special. But you have to believe in Lin Yi. He will definitely find a way to cure you. Just now, when we were all at our wits' end, he came back to save you. Tang Yun encouraged. Yeah. I trust him. Xiao Xiao nodded, but still didn't dare look at Tang Yun. Come on, let's go make some food for Lin Yi. He'll be hungry when he wakes up. We didn't even have time to eat today, Tang Yun said as she held Xiao Xiao's hand. Sure. Xiao Xiao said happily. She loved cooking for Lin Yi. Seeing how his daughter and Tang Yun were getting along so well, Feng Tianlong felt that it was unbelievable. Could these two women really live in peace without fighting? But the truth was right in front of him, and he had no choice but to believe it. Whether Tang Yun was sincere or not, Feng Tianlong could still tell. Perhaps Tang Yun's decision was out of sympathy for Xiao Xiao, but now, other than sympathy, Tang Yun's eyes were filled with deep love and care. Feng Tianlong knew that it wasn't appropriate for him to stay any longer. He coughed and said to Xiao Xiao, Xiao Xiao, I'll be going first. I still have things to do. Okay, bye. Xiao Xiao wished that her father would go out as well. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to talk about these private things in front of him. Feng Tianlong looked at Liafeng, and Liafeng, naturally, understood what he meant. He brought Dr. Liu and the other doctors out of Xiao Xiao's apartment, and Feng Tianlong followed behind them. After closing the door, only Tang Yun, Xiao Xiao, and the sleeping Lin Yi were left in the house. Yun sis, I really don't want to leave you guys, I really don't. Being able to meet you guys at the end of my life is the biggest blessing of my life. Xiao Xiao said emotionally as she skillfully operated the cooking utensils on the stove. Me too, Xiao Xiao. In fact, when I first agreed to your bet, I was just acting out of spite. I was a little conflicted in my heart, but as I got to know you more and more, I really treated you as a good friend. Tang Yun said with a sigh, that's why I said, if it's possible, let's be together forever. Yeah. Xiao Xiao nodded, touched. I also hope to have a big sis that loves me forever. Ha. Alright, let's not talk about these unhappy things. Let's make dinner. Tang Yun shook her head as she said to Xiao Xiao. Alright. Xiao Xiao started getting busy as well. After entering the jade space, Lin Yi immediately started channeling the art of dragon mastery, greedily absorbing the energy in the jade space for his own use. Not only did he need a lot of energy from the blood loss, but he also needed more energy to recover his strength. Jiao Yazi looked at Lin Yi and couldn't help but shake his head. You sure are infatuated. You lost a lot this time, didn't you? There can be no construction without destruction. Lin Yi said faintly, ignoring Jiao Laro. He didn't have time to waste with Jiao Laro. You bastard, I care about you, and you take my kindness for granted. Jiao Yazi glared and turned away, ignoring Lin Yi. Lin Yi had experienced this many times before, and while he was making use of every second he had to train, he wasn't in a rush. He'd recover sooner or later, so what was the rush? The energy in the jade space was quickly channeled by Lin Yi, and Lin Yi was getting better and better at this. The first time, he couldn't completely gather all the energy around him for his own use, so he could only absorb it slowly. But after a few times of destruction, Lin Yi was getting more and more familiar with it, and he could channel all the energy in the jade space around him and above his head. This way, he could passively absorb the energy and speed up his training. If it weren't in the jade space, but the outside world, all the plants and houses within a few hundred miles would be affected by the energy around Lin Yi. If an outsider were here, they'd be shocked, because the energy around Lin Yi was like a tornado surrounding Lin Yi, and Lin Yi was in the center of it all. Chapter 12:15. He had to give up. There was enough energy in the space of the jade for him to absorb, but he wasn't satisfied. He felt that the absorption was too slow, so he had to guide the energy around him and let it rush into his body. Lin Yi first repaired the blood that was lost in his body. This process wasn't complicated, and to Lin Yi, it was like healing his own body, using the energy to speed up the blood production. After his body recovered, Lin Yi started to recover his strength. At this moment, Lin Yi's body was like an empty water tank, gulping down the energy in the space of the jade. Time always passed in the blink of an eye during cultivation. Lin Yi felt that the energy in his body was accumulating more and more. From no strength at all, to the early phase of the golden class, and from the early phase to the peak of the late phase, and then to the early phase of the mystic class. Finally, Lin Yi reached his previous strength, the middle phase of the mystic class, before he dropped a level. There were no accidents during this process, because Lin Yi had done this many times, and it was a walk in the park for him. After returning to his previous strength, Lin Yi didn't slack off. He continued to use the art of dragon mastery, preparing to break through to the peak of the middle phase of the mystic class. Many things were like this: the first burst of energy, the second decline, and the third exhaustion. If he couldn't break through in one go, then it would be much harder to break through again. So Lin Yi didn't want to waste this opportunity, so he gritted his teeth and persevered. But how could breaking through be that easy? Even if the timing was right, many people would be stuck at the bottleneck for more than a year and a half. Many people might not be able to break through in their entire lives. Did they not touch the barrier? In reality, they had also touched it and were on the verge of leveling up. However, it was extremely difficult to break through this barrier. Lin Yi didn't want to admit it, but he had to admit that he had failed this time. It was a failure. Without destruction, there can be no construction. For the first time, Lin Yi tasted the taste of failure. There was no construction after destruction. This time, Lin Yi's attempt to break through to the peak of mystic mid-phase was slightly different from the last few times. The last few days were all very difficult, and it was hard to even absorb a little bit of energy into his body. In many cases, he couldn't even absorb a little bit of energy. It was like a bag that was filled to the brim with things. Even a little bit more could not be stuffed in. This was also the reason why Lin Yi could not break through the barrier even after trying so many times. But this time, he was able to absorb a little energy into his body, but he still failed. Phew, As expected, it still won't work. Lin Yi sighed and opened his eyes. After a while, Lin Yi decided to attack the barrier of mid-phase peak again. Lin Yi was not willing to accept this failure. He wanted to break through in one go. The energy in the jade space was once again moved by Lin Yi, and it surrounded Lin Yi at an unbelievable speed. Lin Yi had already grasped the method of absorbing energy, and he could use the first stage of the art of dragon mastery with ease. It could be said that breaking through to the second stage was something that was within his reach. Now that everything was ready, all he needed to do was wait for the stone door to open again, and he would be able to obtain the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. The first stage already had so many benefits. It was so much stronger than the average mantra, and it benefited Lin Yi immensely. Then, what kind of surprise would the second stage bring? Lin Yi was looking forward to it. At the same time, Lin Yi was regretting that he didn't discover the jade space earlier. If he had discovered the jade space earlier, he would have completed the first stage of the art of dragon mastery, and he wouldn't have to wait for so many years. He would have been able to open the stone door 5 years ago. But Lin Yi was just thinking about it. Sometimes, one couldn't be too greedy. It was already good enough that he could achieve what he had today. Once, twice, thrice. Although the energy was gathering around Lin Yi still couldn't break through the barrier. Every time, he could absorb some energy into his body, but he felt like he was just a little bit away from it. If he could have just a little bit more energy, even a little bit more, he would have broken through. But the amount of energy he could absorb each time was limited, and he couldn't go any further. And after the energy was absorbed into his body, it would instantly be consumed by his metabolism, and he couldn't accumulate it again. It was like a person trying to push a door. If he didn't have enough strength, no matter how many times he pushed, the door wouldn't open. He knew that if he just used a little more strength, the door would open, but he couldn't. And the strength he used to push the door couldn't be accumulated either. After pushing, it would be used up. And that was what Lin Yi was like right now. His body was full of energy, and if he absorbed a little more, he would be able to break through the barrier. But if he absorbed it bit by bit, it wouldn't help at all. This situation made Lin Yi very frustrated and conflicted. He opened his eyes and looked at Jiao Yazi, who was smiling not too far away. Lin Yi said in distress, "Jiao Lao, why am I just a little bit away from breaking through? It's simple. You just broke through the middle phase of the Mystic Division not long ago, and it's already hard for you to take another step forward. The time is too short, and your strength hasn't stabilized yet." Jiao Yazi didn't seem to mind at all. It would be strange if you could break through at this time. But Lin Yi still didn't want to give up. The breakthrough was right in front of him, but he was still one step away. This feeling made him feel terrible. It was like having a plate of delicious food in front of him, but he couldn't eat it. Lin Yi tried a few more times, but it all ended in failure. He wanted to give up, but he didn't want to give up. This method of leveling up was tried and tested, but this time, there was an accident. It seemed like the peak of the middle phase of the Mystic Division wasn't that easy to reach. Lin Yi returned to reality with disappointment. When he opened his eyes, the room was already dark. It should be evening now. Sitting up on the bed, Lin Yi walked out of the bedroom and opened the door. What greeted his eyes was a bright light. But Lin Yi's adaptability was much stronger than normal people. Under the strong light, he didn't feel uncomfortable at all. He could clearly see the scene in the living room. Xiao Xiao and Tang Yun were sitting on the sofa watching TV. The two of them were snuggling together, wearing cartoon pajamas. They looked like a pair of sisters. Chapter 12:16. Chapter 12:14, Sleeping on the Sofa HM. Lin Yi, are you awake? Tang Yun was worried about Lin Yi. She'd seen how much blood Lin Yi had lost and how much energy he'd expended. She'd been thinking about Lin Yi even when she was asleep. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, jumped up from the sofa with a swoosh. She said sleepily, "Lin Yi honey, you're done? Do you want to eat or not? I'll go cook." Lin Yi looked at the two, touched. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "You guys should rest if you're tired. I'll go cook something myself." "No, we've already slept. The food's ready, we can eat as soon as it's in the pot." Xiao Xiao waved her hand and rubbed her eyes. Tang Yun stood up as well. We haven't eaten yet either. Let's eat when we're done. Looking at the two, Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. He wouldn't have tried breaking through if he'd known this would happen. It would have been better if he'd come out of the jade space earlier. He'd wasted so much time and wasted so much time. He might as well have spent the night researching and breaking through. Let's go then. I'll help you guys cook. Lin Yi nodded. In the kitchen, Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao realized, to their surprise, that Lin Yi's cooking skills were much better than theirs. His movements were fast, but it didn't seem like he was busy at all. Instead, it was very organized. The two subconsciously became Lin Yi's assistants, helping Lin Yi with the seasoning and plates. Soon, plates after plates of delicious food were placed on the table. Lin Yi, honey, I didn't think you were this good. You could even be a chef in a big restaurant. Meng Yaro and Yu Shu are so lucky, even I want to move there. Xiao Xiao drooled as she looked at the food on the table enviously. Xiao Xiao's cooking skills weren't bad. After all, she'd been living alone since she was young. She was used to cooking. It was just one person, so it was fine if he could handle it. He only made some common dishes. As for Tang Yun, although she often cooked at home, due to her family's financial situation, she usually ate potatoes and cabbages the most. Seeing so many fresh ingredients, it wasn't easy for her to start. Haha, then let's move over. I'll go talk to Yao Yao. Lin Yi smiled and agreed. What Lin Yi was thinking was that Xiao Xiao's illness was acting up again, and it was lucky that Tianlong found out today. What if Tianlong wasn't here? If he went on a mission and didn't contact Xiao Xiao for a few days, wouldn't Xiao Xiao be dead for sure? And so, Lin Yi felt that Xiao Xiao's suggestion wasn't bad, and the Miss and Shu were both reasonable people. They'd definitely support his decision. Nah, I'm not used to it, I'm just saying. Lin Yi agreed, but Xiao Xiao shook her head. Alright, you can go if you want. The door's always open for you. Lin Yi knew that Xiao Xiao's relationship with the Miss and Shu wasn't as close as she was with Tang Yun. The situation was clear, too, that Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao were on one side, while Meng Yaro and Yu Shu were on the other. Although there was a temporary truce, Xiao Xiao was facing Meng Yaro and Yu Shu alone, and it was hard not to feel weak. Right, Lin Yi, can you give Yaro Yaro and Shu a call? They saw that you didn't go back at night, so they called me and I told them about what happened here. They were very worried about you and told you to call them when you woke up no matter how late it was. Tang Yun suddenly remembered the phone call and said, That's right, I'm sorry. All right. Lin Yi nodded and dialed Meng Yao's number. Hello. Is this Lin Yi? The miss picked up the call quickly. Yeah, it's me. I'm awake, I'm fine. You and Shu go get some rest, I'll be staying at Xiao Xiao's place tonight. Lin Yi said. Okay, take care of Xiao Xiao then. Shu and I'll sleep first. Meng Yaro sounded a little tired. Evidently, she hadn't slept at all. Lin Yi felt touched once more. The people around him all cared about him. The miss wasn't good with words, but she did worry about him in silence. Xiao Xiao's house only had one small bed, and a small sofa in the living room. It could barely fit one person. He could tell that Xiao Xiao didn't let strangers in, and she didn't have any friends before, so no one would come to visit. Everything here was prepared for her to live alone. Sleeping after eating was a bit troublesome. There was only one bed, how were they supposed to sleep? Xiao Xiao, you can sleep on the bed. Yun Yun and I can sleep on the floor in the living room. It's not dirty here, just put a sheet on it, Lin Yi suggested. Yun Yun sis, you're a guest. How can I let you sleep on the floor? You can sleep on the bed, and I'll sleep on the floor. Xiao Xiao said after some thought. Xiao Xiao, your body's not good. Don't catch a cold on the floor. Tang Yun couldn't help but smile. You want Lin Yi to carry you on the floor, right? I'm not. Xiao Xiao blushed as Tang Yun saw right through her. Haha, why don't we sleep on the sofa in the living room and let Lin Yi stay with you, sleeping on the floor next to your bed? Tang Yun, of course, knew what Xiao Xiao was thinking. Although Tang Yun was looking forward to sleeping on the floor with Lin Yi, she wouldn't fight with Xiao Xiao at a time like this. Only the heavens knew how long Xiao Xiao had left to live, so Tang Yun had to use a humble attitude to face the last part of Xiao Xiao's life. I can't do that. Xiao Xiao was actually looking forward to it. Ever since Lin Yi slept with her at the beach, she'd been thinking about when Lin Yi could spend a night with her again, and today was a good chance. With Lin Yi by her side, Xiao Xiao felt very secure. Then it's settled. Tang Yun smiled and said, "Go to bed early, you still have school tomorrow morning." With that, Tang Yun stood up and walked to the sofa with a yawn. Xiao Xiao looked at Tang Yun's back and couldn't help but feel her nose twitch. She felt sorry for her. She'd been a little petty before, forcing Tang Yun to agree to her promise out of spite, but now it seemed that Tang Yun was a kind girl, and she couldn't bear to lie to her.